It is an absolutely beautiful autumn afternoon as Fox Saturday Baseball brings us to Detroit. It's the middle game of the series, the Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. We take a look right now at the wild card standings. The Tigers right now in the midst of a 5-game winning streak. They have vaulted over the Orioles, swept recently in 4 games against the Boston Red Sox, as the Orioles are on the outside looking in for the first time really all season. Good afternoon and welcome inside Comerica Park. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Tom Verducci. And Tom, you look at this recent winning streak for Brad Ausmus from the Tigers. You can point to Justin Verlander, to this young rotation. But offensively, Justin Upton has been scalding hot.
He's so red hot. But hey, rewind to the middle of August. He was hitting .226. People calling him a bust. Manager Brad Ausmus says, Justin, you're getting the next 3 days off for a mental break. Ever since then, he's been a different hitter. Those 14 home runs, the most in the big leagues. And Aaron, they're coming at a big time. Clutch home runs down the stretch. And by the way, he hit 6th in this lineup. That's how deep the Tigers lineup is.
Upton with another home run last night. Meanwhile, for the Royals, who are just trying to really finish this season above 500, for as up and down as Rodano and Ventura has been in his young career, he certainly has had a way with the Tigers.
He really has his entire career. The Tigers have had 11 cracks at him, 10 starts, never beaten him. Fastest throwing pitcher in the American League. He's got wipeout stuff. I'm really fascinated by this matchup. A red-hot Tigers lineup against a pitcher they've never beaten before.
Ventura turning a corner, a complete game in his last time out against the White Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball from the Motor City coming up next. Day than what we have here on this Saturday afternoon from downtown Detroit. 69 degrees, just a little bit of a breeze. Brilliant blue skies, plenty of sunshine for the Royals and the Tigers as we take a look at the Royals Pepsi starting lineup. The burner, the speedster, center fielder Paulo Orlando leads things off. Chester Cuthbert is at third base batting second, and then it's Eric Hosmer aiming for a 100 RBI season, but just 2 for 16 on this road trip. Kendry Morales has been up and down again this season, but having a red-hot month of September. Salvador Perez had yesterday off. Gordon, Escobar, Hunter Dozier getting the start in right field. Raul Mondesi batting ninth at second base. As we take a look at Daniel Norris, today's starter for Brad Ausmus has been such a major reason why the Tigers are where they are, has not given up more than 3 earned runs in any of his 11 starts so far this season. As Tom, we take a look at the scouting report on young lefty Daniel Norris.
Well, unlike Ventura, who's going to throw upper 90s, he's low to mid 90s, but I love the fastball up in the zone. That's when he's really at his best. Special delivery. He's made some changes in his mechanics. We'll talk about those. I think they've made him better than ever. Use the ballpark. It's a big ballpark, as you see there, especially in the middle of the field, and he is a fly ball pitcher.
Facing Paulo Orlando to begin things. Norris's first pitch in for a strike. Now this rotation has been red hot recently for the Detroit Tigers. And when we asked Brad Ausmus about it from inside his office today, Tom, he really had no response. He just simply found the nearest piece of wood, which happened to be his desk, and he knocked on it with his knuckles a few times.
Yeah, that said it all, especially when you have a rotation with so much youth in it this time of year.
Ball and 2 strikes to Orlando beginning our ball game today. Norris only 23 years old, making just his 26th major league start. Part of the David Price deal from a season ago. Began this season in AAA. Cabrera near the warning track. How about we take a look at our keys to the game, sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company.
Well, I'm going to go with a coffee theme because this is the 120th anniversary of QP Pennington, the ultimate cup of coffee big leaguer. We'll talk about him. For the Royals, wake up and smell the coffee. They slept walk through the game last night. Really was not a Royals game. For the Tigers, double shot espresso. When they hit 2 or more home runs, most teams have good records. They're playing 73% baseball, 44-16, and they've got the power to play that game.
One out for Cuthbert. Now, how long do we have to wait before we hear about what was his name again?
QP Pennington. Can you imagine that, having a nickname called QP? That's not exactly the big train or the big unit. I mean, how many people are you going to intimidate? Ooh, QP's on the mound today. But he got that nickname because he was about 5'8", and that was back in the day, about 100 years ago, when the QP doll first came out, was extremely popular. But I picked him as my cup of coffee because he pitched 1 inning.
Iglesias, who exited last night's game late because an injury to his hand, all right, and he's in the starting lineup today, makes the catch for 2 outs.
20 years old, he pitched 1 inning, a scoreless inning, and that was the end of his big league career. So, you know, they say, you know, hey, I want to get a cup of coffee in the big leagues. That means just even a taste of the big leagues. Well, that was a sip. That wasn't a cup.
The ultimate Moonlight Graham. 2 up, 2 down. It brings in Eric Hosmer. Hosmer getting a bit of a breather defensively today. A Gold Glover at first base. DHing today for Ned Yost.
Well, whatever Daniel Norris's warm-up routine is, stick with it. He has not allowed a first inning run in his 11 appearances this year. 11 starts.
And he gets ahead of Hosmer 0-2.
As I talked about the elevation of the fastball there. That's got late life through the zone. Good spin rate on that 4-seamer.
Last time out for Norris on the road to Progressive Field, which has been the equivalent of a haunted house this year for the Tigers, was able to pick up the win. 1 earned run over 5 innings.
Eric Hosmer is a good high ball fastball hitter. Daniel Norris is sticking with his strength. And one thing you will not see is Norris shake off James McCann. He said, I haven't done that in at least a month. Simplify the game, put the game in the catcher's hands.
Now the Tigers really love what McCann does behind the plate. As the count evens up 2-2. Norris having a brilliant September. Far more strikeouts and innings pitched. Opponents hitting just .215 against Norris this month. And he gets Hosmer looking for a 1-2-3 very quick. Top of the first inning. games after taking a fastball off the helmet in Cleveland. Cameron Maybin having a breakout season here in Detroit. Cabrera, well, he's Cabrera, 329 since the All-Star break. Victor Martinez a home run last night. J.D. Martinez hitless in 8 of his last 12. Justin Upton has just been absolutely sensational. McCann, Romine, and Iglesias, the bottom third of the order. As we take a look at Yordano Ventura, right now 25 years old, out of the Dominican Republic, coming off his second complete game of the season, a 9-inning complete game. Did give up 2 home runs against the White Sox. As we take a look here at Ian Kinsler leading things off at second base for the Tigers. On the first pitch to Cuthbert on the grass. Quick out number 1 as we take a look now at the scouting report on Ventura.
Well, he is the hardest throwing starting pitcher in the American League. That's why I call him the Velo Hero. 96, 97, 98. But to me, the wipeout pitch, dangerous curve. 2 strikes, you're going to see a lot of curveballs. We've talked about it at the top. Tiger Tamer, undefeated. Only 1 pitcher has a better record lifetime against Detroit Tigers. Joe Coleman was 9-0. Ventura is 7-0 against the Tigers.
Facing Cameron Maybin. Now, Tom, I'm going to take a guess. I heard your qualifier there. Hardest thrower in the league.
Starting pitcher.
Right.
Yeah.
So it has to be Thor. Noah Syndergaard, the hardest thrower in baseball.
Yes. Very perceptive of you, Aaron. But you know what? I think what Dave Island, the pitching coach, loves about Ventura is he's learned to dial back on that velo. In other words, he doesn't have to throw 97, 98 with every fastball. You know, this reminds me of the second stage of Justin Verlander's career. Justin, as a rookie, would come out firing his best bullets inning 1. There's Justin. And he learned to keep it in reserve. Listen, 95 is plenty good enough. Save the 98 with runners in scoring position.
The opposite way for Maybin, something he does so well. 1 out and 1 on.
Great opposite field hitter, as you said. Most of his hits go the other way. He's only got 15 pull hits the entire year. You can see why. That pitch is out over the plate, lets the ball travel. Very quiet approach at the plate. Not a lot going on in the lower half.
Maybin now 8 hits his last 5 games. Really changes the look of this lineup. They missed him when he was on the disabled list with the thumb injury. 1 out, 1 on for Miguel Cabrera.
With runners on base in this situation, Ventura has been terrific throwing ground ball. 20 double plays this year. And what he's got is a combination of 4-seam fastball away, and you double behind that with a 2-seamer in to get hitters to roll over and get his ground ball. That's what he's looking for right here.
Because, Tom, that's one of the things with Ventura that on the surface level you see a guy who's throwing 96, 98 miles an hour. You'd think it'd just be swings and misses all day long, but that really has not been his game.
No, and again, as a rookie, maybe in this situation he's trying to punch out Miggy. You see him establish the 4-seamer away. At some point in this at bat, he's going to go 2-seamer in to try to get his ground ball.
Now, Cabrera certainly a candidate. Leads the Tigers, has bounced to 25 twin killings this season.
Ventura very difficult to run against, so quick to the plate.
One out, 1 on, scoreless here in the bottom of the first inning. And the 2-1 evens the count up. Cabrera batting .329 since the All-Star break. One of only 5 big leaguers with an OPS over 1,000 in the second half. And he gets Cabrera swinging through strike 3.
He doubled up on the changeup here, but watch Miggy's reaction here on the swing. Man, something is not right there. You saw the grimace on the face. And he will finish with one hand, but the body language is what caught my attention. Don't forget, last night he actually got hit on the hand from a throw while sliding into second base. I think that's exactly what he's looking at. Hey, I can't keep my hand on the bat.
Now we go back to last night.
Well, that was a ball that was in the dirt. It was a great hustle play to advance, but you see that ball just clip his left hand.
Ball on to Victor Martinez. He and Iglesias being hit by throws running the bases last night. Boy, that's something to keep an eye on, though.
Absolutely. Iglesias came out of the game, back in the lineup today. Aaron, I haven't seen that happen. You know, it's hard enough that to see it happen once in a game where a runner is hit on the hand by a throw. To see it twice in the same game, that's an oddity. Except back when baseball began, when you could actually put out a runner by pegging him with the baseball.
I don't think we have footage of that, unfortunately.
No. That would make it baseball an interesting game, though, if you could change the rules today.
Time is called.
Guess you'd have to play with a Kevlar vest, though. He's definitely paying attention to that left hand. We'll keep an eye on it. That was a compromised swing, no doubt.
Once again, a Cuthbert. And that retires the Tigers. May have been stranded at first base. We are through an inning on a beautiful day here in Detroit. Today's telecast is sponsored by T-Mobile, bringing you greater coverage of today's game. Scoreless as we go to the top of the second. It's Kendry Morales in the middle third of the lineup, due up for Kansas City. Daniel Norris very impressive in a 1-2-3 first.
Aaron, reminded me last night of Michael Fulmer. First inning, right away, you could tell he was on point, extremely aggressive, body language terrific on the mound. Same thing today so far with Daniel Norris. There's Michael Fulmer, a guy I thought maybe was running out of gas way beyond his professional high in innings. You wouldn't know it last night. He was April fresh last night.
On a final line. Count goes to 2-1. He is now the American League ERA leader. Two and 2 to Morales.
Yeah, he could pitch, what, 6 or 7 more innings to get the 162 to qualify, and he'd become the first rookie to win the ERA title since Mark Fidrych. The Bird.
Now, we've talked about this young trio, these 3 rookies in the rotation for the Tigers. Fulmer, Boyd, Norris going today. They have been spectacular. That combined with what Verlander has done this year. That's his name in the mix for the Cy Young. Full count to Morales. The number 5 spot for Brad Ausmus in his rotation will come up 2 more times the rest of the season. I'll wait and find out exactly what he does to fill in that spot. Cabrera giving this a look, but out of room. Lengthy at bat for Morales here to begin the second. You can see Fulmer, Norris, Boyd over 300 innings, and ERA barely over 3.5.
Well, it's 3 guys combined had only 10 September starts before this year. But you wouldn't know it by the way they're throwing the ball down the stretch.
Leadoff walk to Morales.
You talk about that rotation. It looks like Buck Farmer will get one of those 2 spots. You mentioned the 5th spot in the rotation. Second one could be they could drop Anibal Sanchez back in on the next to last day of the season. Verlander is lined up to pitch twice more, including game 162.
That was Farmer who went the other night in Minneapolis from Target Field, but that game washed out. They had to do a day-night doubleheader. Leadoff man aboard. Salvador Perez on the first pitch. Beyond Kinsler. Morales on his way to third as it's picked up after a slight bobble there by Maben, and the Royals have runners on the corners with nobody out here in the second.
Well, I think the Royals got my memo about waking up and smelling the coffee, because this is not an automatic advance for someone as slow as Morales, but he puts pressure on Maben. He's decided here to go ahead once this ball gets by Kinsler to bust it towards third. I'm not sure Maben had a play, but whatever play he had is lost on the bobble. You see him look up a little bit to try to find Morales. He may have been surprised by the big guy.
So runners on the corners now for Alex Gordon. Left on left. So McCann keeps it in front of him for ball 1. Now Morales, of course, with that devastating ankle injury years ago, has been dragging a Steinway behind him ever since when he's on the base paths. But having a tremendously productive offensive season once again this year for Kansas City. He is at third, Perez at first base, and Gordon ahead of the count 1-0.
See the 218 average. He has struggled in these spots. Runners in scoring position, hitting just 169. Just 14 hits all year in these spots.
Now 2-0. Now last year hit over 320 with runners in scoring position, so a huge drop off for Gordon in a number of ways this year after signing the most lucrative deal in franchise history with Kansas City. And a soft pop up on the infield. Kinsler has all day. 1 out.
That's the money pitch from Daniel Norris. That tells you how good his four-seam fastball is. You've got a professional hitter like Gordon, a fastball count with runners on base, 2-0, challenge at the top of the zone. It's not just the velocity, location. Just get it enough above the hands, top of the strike zone. That's where his ball has the most life, and he gets the pop-up.
Morales still at third, Perez at first base, so walking a single, 1 out. And it brings in Alcides Escobar.
This is where a lot of times you say, okay, now you're only 1 pitch out of the inning by getting a ground ball double play. Not with Norris. He's thrown just 3 ground ball double plays this year. About a month ago, he just completely abandoned the sinker. Doesn't even bother throwing that anymore because his fastball up is so good.
1-1.
Pop-ups, fly balls, and strikeouts. That is more of Norris's game than putting it on the ground.
Tigers have won each of his last 5 starts. Into left field. Upton makes the catch. Morales tagging, coming home, and scores to make it a 1-0 Kansas City. So Escobar sacrificed fly out to left field, and the Royals strike first.
Well, he got his fly ball just too deep for Upton to do much about it, even with Morales at third base. It's one of those fly balls he didn't have a lot of time to get behind. Really wasn't a lot on that throw. Nice job by Escobar.
Two outs. Perez now at second base. Hunter Dozier climbs in, today's right fielder for Ned Yost. Now for Kansas City, this has been a tough road trip. 0-4 to begin the trip. This is only their 10th run scored, and now their 5th game. Losers of 4 straight. Royals have dropped 9 of their last 12. Pitching has been a major culprit, but offense as well. Ned Yost, the winningest manager in franchise history, passing Whitey Herzog.
That was interesting. Ned said when he first started managing, he wanted to do 2 things: win a World Series and win 1,000 games. Because winning 1,000 games means you've been around for a while. Just didn't want to be a one-hit wonder. Well, what's there left to do now? You just accomplished your 2 goals.
Looks like Ned's feeling the after effects of a day game after night game right there. He's not the only one.
We've got coffee for that, Ned.
Not sure how many managers you hear be that outspoken about the win total. Of course, every manager wants to win a World Series. That's no surprise. The 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of like a hitter, I guess, saying I want to hit, I don't know, 500 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you think about it, it's in that category: 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, 1,000 wins as a manager, and a World Series title.
Can somebody get this man some coffee? Do we have a runner? Can we send this down?
He's relaxed anyway.
2 outs. Perez at second base and a full count. He talked to a lot of people who know Ned well. They will tell you that wild card game a couple of years ago at home against Oakland really changed him. Talk about being relaxed.
No doubt. It literally changed him the way he managed. I think he became more like his mentor, Bobby Cox, and trusting players and staff more rather than trying to do everything himself. So he has joined Bobby with those 1,000 wins and at least 1 championship. Only 37 men have done that.
Pretty elite list. Well, this is turning out to be a bit of a lengthy inning for Norris in the second. A run already in on the sac fly by Escobar. The leadoff walk that Norris issued came around to score. I mentioned earlier, this month for Norris, only 4 previous walks compared to 24 strikeouts. Next pitch will be number 23 in this inning for Norris. And really, if you go back to his last start, just 5 innings at Cleveland, he had a 27 pitch second and a 25 pitch fifth. Second walk this inning, a leadoff walk, and now a 2-out walk.
The power of foul balls, right? You go back to Morales' bat, fouling off some really good pitches. Dozier with a bunch of souvenirs into the stands as well. Something that's not necessarily going to show up on the stat sheet, but grinding out at bats with foul balls. And that will bring out Rich Doobie, the pitching coach.
Watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.TV Premium. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 supported devices and enjoy a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Just visit MLB.TV.
You know, I know the Tigers have made a concerted effort to slow him down, Daniel Norris. You know, he tends to speed things up. It's almost as if he's too deliberate this inning. You know, I've seen him so many times go to the rosin bag, walk off the rubber. He's almost intentionally slowing himself down and not developing any rhythm here. You got to find that happy medium.
And all of this after a 1-2-3 top of the first, which ended on a strikeout looking to Eric Hosmer. The ace looking on as now Norris faces Mondesi. Strike one.
Well, I know when in his bullpen sessions for Daniel Norris, Rich Doobie will go down there and stand next to him, and he will call a pitch. Say fastball up. And then he wants Daniel to go through kind of a mental checklist. Take a deep breath, get yourself set, gather, go. Next pitch, change up, down. Same kind of routine. In other words, not just throwing in the bullpen, but really working on pace. And I think he's still trying to find that right spot, that sweet spot of pace.
Romine handles it right at the cut of the grass. It is a lengthy top of the second inning. A run in. And after 1.5, Kansas City leading 1-0. Make our way to the bottom of the second inning. Royals leading 1-0 on a sac fly by Alcides Escobar, scoring a leadoff walk taken by Morales. Ventura facing JD Martinez to lead off the Tigers' second.
Not often you see the catcher go to the mound before the inning starts, but Sal Perez just did that. Why? Just to remind him, you see the curveball right there about JD Martinez. 8 for 17 against Ventura, and one of the best fastball hitters in the big leagues. Stay soft.
Now Martinez 0 for his last 11 with 5 strikeouts mixed in. Heater that time, 2-1.
Yeah, a little surprised he took it right there.
Martinez now hitless in 8 of his last 12 games. He has the supplier of the Tigers offense in recent weeks on deck, Justin Upton. And the 3-1. Leadoff walk. All right, now let's go back to our studios in Los Angeles. We check in with Ryan Field. Ryan, what's going on? All right, thank you. Grichuk, a little bit of an up and down season. Down to Memphis, back up again. Take a look at the National League wildcard standings.
I don't know about you, Aaron, but I'm a fan of chaos. What team do you root for? Chaos? With that 3-team race, obviously only 2 get in. I'd love to see that go down to the last day, if not beyond that.
Play-in game?
Plural. Have to split it, right?
Yeah. Martinez at first base after the leadoff walk. Upton behind 0-1. Oh, 2. Well, we mentioned the absolute tear that Upton is on, including a home run last night off Danny Duffy.
In some ways, a little bit like a right-handed Chase Utley with that abbreviated follow-through, and yet the ball was just hit a screamer last night.
Goes around. Upton not pleased with that call. Sees nothing but strikes. 1 out.
Well, you can book it with 2 strikes here. Ventura wants to go right down there. It doesn't matter whether you're a left-handed hitter or a right-handed hitter. It's going to be curveball to glove side down out of the zone. He gets more of those funky swings and misses off that pitch than anything else. That's the go-to pitch with 2 strikes.
1 out, 1 on, now facing McCann. Starts him off with a strike 1 with a fastball. Now for Ventura, has never lost to the Tigers. 7-0 in his career. His last 7 starts against Detroit, he has allowed 7 earned runs. Working with traffic on the base paths each of the first 2 innings. Ned Yost telling us earlier today that he really feels like Ventura has turned a corner. You mentioned earlier Tom staying within himself, not feeling like he has to go out there and embarrass hitters.
I think the biggest key for him is making sure he stays over his front side and finishes the pitch. You'll see him, as he did on first pitch, recoil sometimes. But as long as he finishes the pitch and then recoils, he's fine. And I think he's done a much better job of that this year. Reminds me a lot of the changes Carlos Martinez has made with the Cardinals. More under control to finish the pitch. Then if you want to fall aside and recoil after you've gotten out over your front leg, that's okay. It used to be he'd get into that recoil and fall off well before finishing the pitch, and that's where he'd get wild. Now watch, let the ball go, finish the pitch, and then he falls off way to the side. That's okay, as long as he's directional towards the plate. After he lets the ball go, then he can fall off towards the first base side.
Ventura's 2-2. An appeal. He does not go full count.
And that's the one where he left the mound too early. He fell off before finishing the pitch, and he pulled the ball with him. Watch him drift out to the left side. Shoulder opens up, body goes left, ball goes left. But once again, 2 strikes. It's going to be a curveball down in that box, glove side.
JD Martinez at first, a leadoff walk.
Yeah, I would not send JD right here. Too much swing and miss in play.
Tight to the line. Cuthbert with a backhand has really no play. 2 on, 1 out. Infield base hit for McCann.
There's a lot of water on the field, otherwise this might have been a double play. But you watch when he goes to plant, the foot will slide out from under him. 2 outs are lost. There's no shot from a seated position.
College football kicks off tonight with a Big 12 showdown as Oklahoma State faces number 16 Baylor at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. From beautiful McLean Stadium right there in Waco, Texas. Gorgeous setting. One out and 2 on. Tigers have a runner in scoring position for the first time early on today. First pitch to Romine. Even with as productive as this Tigers lineup has been, there's no doubt they miss Nick Castellanos. Romine in his place at third base.
See, this is where Ventura goes from a strikeout pitcher to a ground ball pitcher, looking for the double play.
Gets ahead 1 and 2.
As a strikeout pitcher, he would want to bury that curveball here at the back foot, but as a ground ball pitcher here, could be changeup or sinker down and away.
Now you can hear Salvador Perez pleading that that was a foul ball.
And it was. You know, you saw him shake Sal to throw that glove side breaking ball in the dirt. Hits the ground, hits the bat, no question about it. And Sal was thinking like me, let's throw something to get a ground ball. And Giordano was thinking, I want the punch out.
Count still 1 and 2 to Romine. Swings right through it. Third strikeout early on here today for Ventura.
You might have heard Sal after this pitch here, because if you watch Ventura after the pitch, he's kind of digging himself getting this strikeout right here. And Sal immediately snapped him back. You're not out of it. Listen to this. Hey, let's go, let's go. That's not the end of the inning. You still have work to do. Veteran catcher taking charge.
Now that curveball has been devastating early on here for Ventura, now facing Iglesias. To Escobar on an easy hop. We go the short way. Couple of stranded. We go to the third. 1-0 Kansas City. Inside the Royals dugout, pitching coach Dave Island. Dave, thank you so much for joining us on what is just a gorgeous day here in downtown Detroit. What have you made so far from your Donald Ventura? Was able to get out of a bit of a jam there in the second.
Yeah, he's right where he needs to be. He's under control. He's repeating his delivery for the most part. He's giving him a couple different looks out of the stretch. He's slide stepping. He's slowing it down. So he's disrupting their timing a little bit, and most importantly, he's getting ahead in the count and expanding the zone.
Dave, what do you think his last start did for him? His first 9-inning complete game, very efficient with his pitches.
Well, I think it did a lot for him. I mean, it proved to himself, and he can go out there and he can close the game out. I think it was very important that we sent him back out there in the 9th inning, even though he was at 96 pitches, I believe, when we sent him back out there for the 9th. But you know, you're not going to learn how to close games as a starting pitcher if you're never given the opportunity to do it. And he went out there and probably had his best inning. It was a 10-pitch inning, and some of the best stuff he had shown all day was in the 9th inning.
We saw him strike out Romine for round number 2, and as we're up to a pretty torrid start here, Martinez able to flag it down. Dave, the clock's ticking, so we'll get on with this. we saw him strike out Romine. Still had runners on base, and we could hear Salvador Perez on our microphone say, hey, you're not out of this yet. What does Salvador Perez mean to your pitching staff? Yeah,
I mean, Salvi's gotten really good at knowing how to manage each one of our pitchers and knowing what makes them tick, so to speak. So he knows when to go out and calm guys down and push the right button. So it's very vital with Salvi back there, and Drew Butera is the same way. So we're very fortunate to have two catchers that know how to handle these guys.
Hey, Dave, before the game, we spoke with Ned Yost about the grind of 2 consecutive deep seasons for the Royals. It's a good thing, obviously. Winning the American League pennant in 15 or 14, and then winning it all last year. Where have you seen it show up on the mound in terms of pitching that 7th month for your guys 2 years in a row? And I know it's not the same group. For the guys who have done it, what have you seen?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's really hard to say. It's probably based on the individual, but yeah, it does take its toll. I mean, these guys are human. I mean, for some of these guys, it's 2 short seasons in a row, but you know, that's what you want. You know, we tried to you know, slow these guys down and not give them too much too soon in spring training. But you still have to come out and play 162 games. Just because when you went to the World Series 2 years in a row, you don't get any breaks or any time off during the season. So you have to grind through it, and you have to be mentally strong as well as physically strong to do it.
Dave, we certainly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for jumping on with us here.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I was surprised how honest, if you will, Ned was about recognizing the fact it's been short of recovery off seasons for his club, and that may be a factor in this season. Obviously, injuries are part of it, but just to bounce back from 2 long years to try to do the 3rd year, there was some attrition this year, no doubt about it. Some guys having down years.
Royals losing really about 3 months of recovery time, Ned was saying. Fair ball. Cabrera with the underhand flip to Norris. After a lengthy 25-pitch second, Norris just 9 pitches here in the 3rd. Second time through the order for Yordano Ventura as Kinsler leads off the home half of the 3rd inning. Kinsler for his career a .319 hitter against Kansas City. Many years with Texas before coming over to Detroit. A weak dribbler. Ventura can't get a clean grip on it. And Kinsler is aboard to begin the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, you got Morales out there, just the 6th start of the year at first base, but Ventura said, I can take care of this myself. And you saw the head come up before the ball was actually in the glove.
Infield base hit for Kinsler. That brings in Cameron Maben, a single off of Ventura back in the 1st. We were talking about Maben's ability to go the opposite way, how much he has done that this year. Last night, a rare home run, his 4th, and we saw a little bit of pull power from Maben.
Yeah, Brad Ausmus says he's got that in him. Probably had too much of that in him early in his career. And he credited Kevin Seitzer, the hitting coach with the Braves, who convinced him, you're not really a power hitter, Cameron. Be an on-base machine, use the whole field, especially the other way. That was a case where Duffy was just losing some velocity on the fastball and sped up the bat of Maben. For the most part, he loves going the other way. Check this out. Cameron Maben, when he hits the ball to right field, hits .485. And with Kinsler on first base and that hole open, that's a good combination.
Two and one. Maben taken one pick ahead of Andrew McCutchen back in the 2005 draft.
First two picks in that draft are both playing left field today.
Upton and Gordon.
It's the greatest draft ever.
Ryan Braun, Ryan Zimmerman, Tulowitzki. Mike Pelfrey was a part of that draft.
Jacoby Ellsbury, Jay Bruce. It just goes on and on and on. Mostly position players.
Matt Garza was taken in the first round that year. Kinsler on his way to second base. Now making a turn to third, all the way in towards the corner where right field juts out.
Well, it happened last night as well. Pickoff throw. Hosmer was at first base, the Gold Glover last night. Today, he's essentially getting a half day off as the DH. Morales, not a lot of experience there this year at the position. Can't help his pitcher. Throw into the runner. That's an easy 180-foot advance.
Full count. And of course, Kinsler getting on base on what looked like would be a sure-handed out number one.
Well, I understand what he's doing there. There's a lot you can do or could have done in that situation in terms of hit and run with the combination Kinsler and Maben.
Infield in, up the middle. Kinsler scores easily. Yeah, this ball game was all tied up here at the bottom of the third.
Now, Miguel Cabrera, I think, is one of the best curveball hitters in the big leagues. The key is balance. I want you to watch these swings this year on curveballs, all home runs. Look at the position of his head in every single one of these, almost identical. The key to hitting anything off speed is balance, and when the head doesn't move like that, you are on balance. And now you saw the way Ventura pitched Miggy first time up, doubling up on the changeup. That's been the pattern in this matchup. He cuts his curveball usage in half against Miggy and doubles up on changeup usage out of respect. And there again, the changeup. I mean, Ventura, to me, his best pitch is that wipeout curveball. But Miggy's such a good curveball hitter, he almost takes that weapon away. That's respect.
Especially when you think about it from Ventura's standpoint, it can be easy to be pretty cocky about that curveball. You don't see curveballs with that velocity.
No, velocity and break. Miggy just 5 out of 22 against Ventura. They've seen each other a bunch.
Go ahead, run at first base. 2-1.
Curveball right there, designed to try to get a chase, not a strike.
Maben to second, making the turn. Runners on the corners. Still nobody out. First 3 men reaching here in this Tigers' 3rd inning.
Boy, that is an oil painting of a swing. When you're talking about a guy with tremendous power, look at the head on the baseball, the extension through it, but the balance again, and taking the ball the other way. To me, that's his natural stroke. If you had a default swing from Miguel Cabrera, that would be it. Watch, he's not going to hit this out in front. He's going to hit the ball about here. And to me, that's what allows him to be such a great breaking ball hitter, because he can hit the fastball deep. That buys him a little more time. And I'll tell you what about Miggy. I know he's been, throughout his career, a great opposite field hitter. He's never been better than this year. More home runs and RBIs to the opposite field than ever before in his career.
Now, speaking of oil paintings, his career spray chart is a masterpiece. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Hits all over. Runners on the corners for Victor Martinez. Go-ahead run now 90 feet from home for the Tigers. Strike one. Maybe the RBI base hit now at 3rd. Cabrera at 1st. Martinez now with 5 RBIs in his last 3 games, had just 2 in his previous 22. Oh, and 2 quickly. The 0-2. Cuts right through it. Nasty stuff from Ventura.
I tell you, the same box right down in here, right? Breaking ball down and in. I mean, that tells you how good that breaking ball is. That curveball is so good.
The MLB postseason begins October 4th with the AL Wild Card on TBS, on October 5th with the National League Wild Card on ESPN. Then October 7th, the National League Division Series begin on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Victor Martinez is one of the smartest hitters in baseball. He knows the pattern of Ventura, and he rarely strikes out.
And we see it again here to Martinez.
Sal is laughing over there at Miggy because Miggy was getting a little frisky over there at first base. They weren't holding him on, and he almost broke before Ventura even made the pitch.
Without a steal attempt this year.
I guess that's why Sal was laughing.
Through the left side, the Tigers have taken the lead. Martinez snaps an 0 for 11.
We talked about this matchup. JD Martinez got some ownership on Yordan Ventura, and luck helps as well. Talked about how he's a great fastball hitter. It's .352 against fastballs. Pounds this one into the dirt and gets the high hop through.
Cabrera at second, Martinez at first base. On the first pitch, Upton. Very shallow center field to Orlando. 2 outs. Now a couple of RBI singles in this 3rd inning for the Tigers. Maben and most recently JD Martinez has given Detroit a 2-1 lead. It brings in James McCann. An infield single back in the 2nd inning.
I mean, no offense to James McCann, but it's like as a pitcher, you finally can feel yourself actually breathing when you get to this spot in the order. And when the Tigers, as they have this inning, start at the top of this lineup and you work through those first 6, you're under pressure every pitch.
It is as fierce as the top 2/3 of an order as you will find in the league, or in baseball for that matter. Little run support for Daniel Norris. You know, we mentioned that the Tigers have won his last 5 starts. Well, they're averaging 7 runs of support in those 5 starts. Not to take anything away from Norris, who's been tremendous, but the offense has certainly done its part as well.
Picking the right days to pitch.
I guess so.
Always a key when it comes to that 1 lost record.
Well, there's always that one guy that
That's right.
gets a ton of support, and that one guy that just gets crumbs. 2 on, 2 out. Now 2 balls and a strike. Now the pitch count starting to really climb for Ventura. He's at 54. Back-to-back 20-pitch innings. Hard hit but foul, 2-2.
Now let's see if he goes back to that curveball with 2 strikes. Into this game, batters were hitting 113 off that curveball with 2 strikes. There's a reason why he loves that pitch.
It's 2-2. This time touching 98, a full count.
Just off the plate. You see Sal almost set up outside the zone.
Near the line, Cuthbert racing to third. And that ends the bottom of the 3rd. Cameron Maben tying this game up. And then J.D. Martinez giving the Tigers a lead through 3. Hyundai. And by Domino's, order online and track your order. Glad you could join us for Detroit. From Detroit for Fox Saturday Baseball, Aaron Goldsmith alongside Tom Verducci. As we begin the top of the fourth, Kendrys Morales leads off. Oh, it's a strike one. Now Norris, a 25-pitch second, and then a very quick 9-pitch 1-2-3, top of the third. A weak Wave batted 0-2. Morales walked to lead off the second, has scored the Royals' only run so far. With 2 strikes against him, a base hit into left field, and Morales reaches for the second time.
I mentioned the top, the delivery of Daniel Norris. Last year he started square to the plate. This year he's gone to this abbreviated delivery, but I want you to watch when he brings his knee up. The height of the knee and a slight turn. See him gather here before he goes. Before the front hip is going to come forward, he waits enough on the rubber to then go. And that little height adjustment of the leg kick and the little bit of a turn has established some rhythm in his delivery that he didn't have before. Now, Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, suggested that about a month ago, and Daniel told me it clicked right away. The ball just came out of his hand with a little more velocity, just felt better. It's almost like a hitter who goes to a leg kick to establish some momentum before the swing. Like a lot of pitchers, Daniel, we see Ventura do this as well, has that modified delivery. It's not a full windup, but at least he's generating momentum with a little bit more of a leg kick. Not quite on that term, but working on it. I miss those old school deliveries.
Now, he's not Jim Palmer or Juan Marichal.
Well, back in the day, that's the way they did it. It was a big deal when Don Larson decided to go to a no windup delivery in a World Series against the Brooklyn Dodgers. Worked out okay. Perfect game. The Norris delivery, this is out of the stretch now. It's not much of a difference, stretch and windup. Well, reminiscent of the man he was traded for, David Price. I think when someone like David Price has that much success, it can influence a lot of young pitchers to give it a try. Especially if you're a guy, I know Daniel early in his career in the minor league system in Toronto had a lot of issues repeating his delivery. Simplifying it works for a lot of guys.
Still 1-2.
Oh, here they are side by side. You watch David won't have the kind of leg kick that Daniel has now, but that abbreviated, modified delivery. You don't have the hands over the head. You don't have the shoulders square to the plate. A lot of guys think the simpler you make the delivery, the more often you can repeat the delivery.
Which then begs the question, what were they thinking back in the day when they had the chin high knee kick, leg kick, Tom? What's changed?
I'll tell you what's changed. I don't think those guys had a lot of coaching growing up. I don't think travel ball existed then. I think more pitchers are ruined by overcoaching than undercoaching. They pitch like this because that's the way they generated velocity, momentum, rhythm.
I like the at-bat here.
I think everybody's going home with a souvenir today with all these foul balls. The Royals are just wearing out Daniel Norris trying to get strike 3. Tough to do against this Kansas City team.
Morales at first base, the 1-2. Second strikeout today for Norris. And the first out here in the 4th inning.
It goes off speed here after all those heaters. Like a slider. Back door really didn't have a lot of bend to it, but difference in velocity did the trick.
And he got Gordon to pop up with 2 on and nobody out back in the second. Starts him off with strike 1.
See that recoil there from Daniel Norris? He's got a little Ventura in him. And he won't do that when he throws his changeup or his curveball or slider. It's only on his fastball. Of course, the hitter's really not going to see that. That's after the ball is already on the way to the plate. And there it is again. I asked him about that. He's aware of it. I said, I guess I do put a little something extra into my fastball. Again, you have to make sure you finish the pitch and then you recoil.
One and 2. Three previous starts for Norris against the Royals has never allowed more than 3 earned runs. Just 1 so far today. Faced Kansas City earlier this month. A quality start against the Royals and a Tigers win. He punched out 7. Gordon has found his way to battle back to now a full count. Escobar on deck. Had the sac fly back in the second. 1 out, 1 on. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, in fastball counts, he tends to stay with his fastball. And why not? Gets the late swing from Gordon. Well located.
Working around a leadoff single. Unforgettable games, undeniable greatness, and unstoppable drama. The 2016 postseason begins October 4th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule.
I really like his arm action. Daniel Norris. That's a live left arm. On that pitch right there, that slider, that's good enough to mix in on 2 strike counts. And I think when you see him begin to start mixing in his secondary stuff in fastball counts, my goodness. I mean, he's a handful right now. He's going to get even better.
1-1 to Escobar.
What do you think of the Sox there too, Aaron?
Oh, it's a for Norris. This is an especially good look.
He's got Hunter Pence territory above the knee.
Not easy to pull off, Tom. The opposite way out to J.D. Martinez amidst the shadows. Well, he might not be the second coming of Hal Newhouser, but pretty good work so far here for Daniel Norris.
prizes, 2 up there. Make sure you check them out. Leading off the 4th inning for the Tigers, the third baseman, Andrew Romine.
Andrew Romine leads off the bottom of the 4th inning. The Tigers leading 2-1 early on, as we're joined down in the dugout by Justin Verlander. Justin, thanks for joining us. This is once again just a fantastic season for you. You've really turned it on, especially in the second half. Have vaulted once again to the Cy Young conversation. You're pitching for a team in the wild card right now. How much fun is this for you these days?
It's a lot of fun, man. It's this is what you play for. This is what you work so hard for in the off season and during the season, is to be in this playoff race. So we're in the position where our destiny's in our own hands. So hopefully we continue to play well and end up with a chance.
Nothing to do quickly to Romine. Mondesiu's had a pretty quiet day defensively. 1 out.
Hey, Justin, I thought it was a great sign when you pitched at Minnesota, and after the game, you felt like you didn't have your best stuff, and you had 11 punch-outs.
Yeah, it's just, I had my curveball, and I kind of stuck with that for most of the game. That was working for me, so I got a lot of punch-outs on that. But, a couple of my other pitches I wasn't executing quite as well as I would like, which is why my pitch count started to climb up. When I was missing, they weren't really swingable, and when I was throwing them over the plate, they weren't quite executed, so the guys were fouling off a lot of balls. So usually like to go a little bit more than 6 innings, but we got the win that day, so I was happy about that.
Let me follow up on what Aaron asked you about pitching this time of year, and I know you've come out and said you love pitching in big games. How is it different for you, the feel of being on the mound this time of year?
It's tough to explain. It's like the intensity, the focus. It feels like every inning is 2. Especially in the playoffs. You feel like, I remember the first playoff game I threw, I came out after 2 or 3 innings, and I felt like I'd thrown 6. It's just the mental grind that goes on and the intensity that's in every single throw is just amplified so much. But then when you're done and exhausted and you've been successful, it's a great feeling.
Justin, we're seeing a lot of Toledo Mud Hens in the rotation this year for the Tigers, and boy, they are doing that logo proud. Fulmer, Boyd, of course, Norris here today. What's it been like for you, the ace of this staff, watching these 3 youngsters be such a major reason why the Tigers are where they are right now?
Yeah, it's been different. This is kind of the first time in my career we've had a bunch of young guys in the same staff, and I guess it's a little bit more of a mentor type role to kind of taking them through the grind of a full season. And it's been a lot of fun. These guys, we wouldn't be here without them, and this guy too. They've been tremendous. They go about their business in the right way, and it's been a lot of fun to watch, man. It's you see Norris today, and what Fulmer's done has just been incredible, and Boyd stepped in and filled in. All of them. You can say great things about every single one of them.
You mentioned being a mentor. Did this come about naturally? Did they approach you? How did all this come down?
I guess it just kind of came about naturally because, I remember what it was like going through the grind as a rookie, and these guys have a lot of questions. They're great about asking questions, and I've always been an open book. So anything that I can impart upon them to help them through this 162-game season, which isn't easy. I think the most important thing is finding your routine and talking to them about how I found my routine, different things that I tried along the way.
Back-to-back base hits. Iglesias with 1 out, followed by Kinsler. Tigers have something going here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, let me ask you about Daniel, because to me it's easy to see. Love his arm action, the carry of his fastball through the zone. But after that 2nd inning, which was a grind, Kansas City made him work. The way he's bounced back these last 2 innings, tell me what you see today from Daniel. Yeah,
I think being able to bounce back and calm himself down the mound, I think that's the biggest thing for him, is staying calm, not let his emotions get the best of him. He's a guy that expects excellence from himself, and that's fine. But if you don't execute every pitch, you don't have to get upset about it. We all make mistakes sometimes. It's just moving on, turn the page, move to the next pitch, try to get it out. And when he does that, man, he's got great stuff. Like you said, his fastball's got a great ride through the zone, and his off-speed stuff's great. So, it's a lot of fun to watch him pitch and just kind of go through his routine. That's what we've kind of been talking about, him and our pitching coach Doopy. Just find your routine, set yourself on the mound, envision the pitch, and then deliver it, and then turn the page after that.
This is Maben at the plate with a 2-0 count now. Justin, you pitch for a team that has one of the most feared lineups in the American League. It starts at the top with Kinsler, Cabrera, Martinez. Maben having a fantastic year. The other Martinez, now Upton. What do you learn about pitching watching these guys work at the plate?
Man, don't throw it down the middle. You know, these guys are fun to watch on the daily basis, man. It's you know, it's really incredible to see guys every single day. I mean, it's easy to see the highlights and be like, man, that guy's great. Look at all those great highlights. But in reality, when you see guys every day like Kinsler and Maben and the grind and Cabrera, you know, that's when you garner a real respect for those guys and what they do.
Speaking of Maben, into center field. Iglesias making the turn. Orlando's throw up the line, and the Tigers extend the lead. It's now 3-1 Detroit.
And when we talk about the best offenses in baseball, we talk about the Red Sox, the Tigers. I talk about Justin Verlander, because every time he comes on, it's amazing.
Unbelievable, man.
You think DiMaggio had a hitting streak?
I'm just going to keep this thing on the whole time, and I'm just going to sit over here in the corner, and maybe I'll chime in, you know, do a little color analyst.
Justin, I didn't want to jinx it when you came on, but I'm beginning to think you're jinx-proof.
Justin, we are watching a replay of your cheerleading skills, by the way. You can't see that, but take our word for it.
Not bad.
Brings in Miguel Cabrera. To the backstop.
Oh, shoot.
Kinsler staying put at third base.
Probably a good decision the way that ball trampolined back to Sal Perez.
Do you like my color dropping right there? Oh, shoot.
You sound a little biased.
At least he kept it clean.
That's true. I was wondering about that.
That's always a tough decision for the runner on third. And Cameron Maben knew he had plenty of time to get back to second. He was almost third himself.
So Tigers threatening with 2 on. 1 out. You know, Justin, before we let you go, we wanted to talk to you for just a brief moment. Every Saturday home game this year, you've been hosting veterans from Veterans Affairs medical centers throughout the state of Michigan. The veterans, along with their families, watch from your personal luxury suite. Food and beverage provided courtesy of you. Veterans receive a personalized welcome letter from yourself. Verlander's Victory for Veterans t-shirt and a Wins for Warriors baseball cap. Oh, this obviously means a great deal to you. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, it really does. You know, this is something I started maybe 5 years ago with the suite with the veterans and their families, which I think is an important part. And that kind of snowballed. I wanted to do more. I wanted to give back. You know, and we're in this great free country playing this game, and I know it's not for. It wouldn't be the case if it weren't for these men and women that are overseas protecting our freedom. So I wanted to get back, and that's what started Wins for Warriors. I launched that a couple years ago, and it's really going great. You know, our goal is to empower veterans and their families in the community. So we're partnering with other charities. We have a big race in downtown Detroit on November 6th. Anybody that comes out is going to a great cause. It's going to support veterans. So go to winsforwarriors.org if you want to help, if you want to join, if you want to just help in general. So it's something that, like you said, I'm really passionate about, and I want to give back as much as I can. And, it's something I want to do when I'm done with the game of baseball. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, Justin, fine work on the field, terrific work off the field. We're going to let you get back to being a cheerleader now the base is full.
With the bases loaded, you're going to kick me off the air with one.
Right. He doesn't want to leave. You can stay on. Your job's not done yet.
All right. Keep that headset on as long as you want.
All right, guys. I appreciate you having me. Tom, Aaron, thanks.
Thank you, Justin.
Bases loaded, V-Mart up. Justin says, I got some more work to do.
Intentional pass to Cabrera. He's at first, Maben at second base, Kinsler at third.
This is, you want to take the hemlock or the lie. Pick your poison. Decide to try to see if they can get a double play out of Victor. But he's looking for something he can drive in the air. Where you can tell Justin's really enjoying being around these young pitchers. It's a role he never had to play before. They've always had veteran pitchers surrounding him on the staff.
That was very interesting hearing him talk about that. 1-2. Take a look at StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services. Kinsler, the man at third. Cameron Maybin at second base. Miguel Cabrera now at first. One out, bags packed for Victor Martinez. As Ventura really has been hit around at times today. Now 9 hits for the Tigers. The 1-2. Victor Martinez with a strikeout. Second time he is fanned.
Watch this slider curveball here. Almost drop off the table. Threw a little harder in the strike zone. It got the swing and miss from Victor Martinez. Not easily done. Now he has to get through his nemesis.
Now Martinez gave the Tigers a 2-1 lead back in the third. That snapped an 0-for-11 skid. Walking an RBI base hit so far today in 2 plate appearances. Well, the first pitch, a foul ball. Now Ventura this year with the bases loaded has held opponents just 3 for 25. Trying to get out of a jam here in the fourth with a pitch count pushing 80. And now 0-2.
What makes him so tough with runners in scoring position, not just bases loaded, he's got 3 wipeout pitches to go to. So far JD has seen 2 of them. Fastball, and there's that usual typical 2-strike breaking ball. He threw a 1-strike down and away, and he still has the changeup in his pocket.
This brings out Salvador Perez.
Now he knows how big this pitch is. Have to keep the game at 2 runs right here. The count you control. You can't let yourself get beat by a mistake right here.
The 0-2.
Favorite pitch, favorite spot. I say go right back to it.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. And Ventura's 1-2. Behind Perez, and Kinsler scores from third. Throw to first base in time. A wild end to the bottom of the 4th inning. We go to the 5th. Score stays 3-0 Tigers as the strikeout completed now to first base on the whiff by J.D. Martinez. We start the top of the 5th. That's where Hunter Dozier begins things for Kansas City. So Ventura able to limit the damage, leave the bases full to end the 4th inning.
You know, 3 years ago, Hunter Dozier was the 8th overall pick of the draft by Kansas City. It was Stephen F. Austin. Thought he was a big-time prospect, and his stock went down the last couple of years. This really didn't produce. Well, it's back up this year. Had a good season in Double-A, moved up to Triple-A, and here he is. Probably a natural third baseman. Got a little bit of run in right field and the outfield this year in Triple-A, and that's where he is today.
Back in 2014, last season as well, got very pull happy in the minors. Went to the instructional league last year. Began to use all fields, made some adjustments.
You can see a good sized kid. He probably got a little bit too big and bulky.
He looks like somebody out of Denton, Texas.
It's like a linebacker.
Caught looking. Norris has struck out 3 of the last 4 that he's faced. Go back to the ending of the bottom of the 4th inning with Martinez at the plate and the bases loaded.
I'll give Bob Davidson an assist on this play here, because watch it get off his back leg, hit Salvador Perez's leg, then hits the umpire. Goes all the way back. Really gratuitous bounce there for Perez to be able to secure the out at first base. It was like a pinball machine.
Mondesi looks at strike 1. Mondesi, a 21-year-old rookie. First major league at bat was last year in the World Series. First player ever to have his first major league at bat in the World Series. He struck out facing Noah Syndergaard. Not an easy way to begin things, both in terms of the stage and the quality of the opponent.
Well, they think this kid's going to be a star. Very athletic. He's got plus speed. Get really good hands at the plate. Still learning about approach at the plate, sequencing by pitchers, all those things that just take repetition. But the skill set is there to be a star.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Norris, and 4 of the last 5. Now the most popular way to follow the September pennant races and the postseason is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your favorite device now. Back to the top of the order, it brings in Paulo Orlando.
Well, Tigers manager Brad Ausmus has to be happy with what he's seeing from Daniel Norris today. And we talked about sometimes the game gets sped up on him, and Brad was curious to see what happened today. Big game, penultimate Saturday of the season, playing for a playoff spot, pitching in his first pennant race. How would he respond? Well, he's been under control. Every pitch seems like it's been thrown with a purpose. I haven't seen him rush.
His 2-0 on a line into left field. First man to reach since Morales in his leadoff single into left back of the 4th. McCann out for a quick visit. 2 outs, 1 on for Cuthbert. Cuthbert with 10 home runs on the year represents the tying run. Romine near the line. A long throw off the bag. Cuthbert is safe. Cabrera can't hold on as he takes a dive.
And Romine just couldn't get enough on this throw to have a clean hop. One of those short hop, long hops, either way, but watch, you just kind of lose some gas there on the way to first base, and Miggy just can't pick it. How about that landing? You can laugh about it. Got yourself a knock right there.
Cuthbert at first. Orlando, who singled to left field, now at second.
So you got a guy who grew up on second base running track in Brazil, and a guy on first base who grew up on Big Corn Island in Nicaragua.
Both in front of Eric Hosmer. 3 RBI shy of 100 on the season. Looking for his first ever 100 RBI campaign.
Yeah, he was trying to get 3 right there. Sold out on the heater. Didn't get it. Got the slider.
Now, he has been very good this year with runners in scoring position, but struggling overall lately. 2 for his last 18. High hack at 96.
That's impressive. Talked about this guy's a good high fastball hitter, unlike a lot of lefties like the ball down. And so I'm talking about carry through the zone. I mean, any fastball is going to drop because you're pitching off 10-inch mound, throwing a ball downhill. But when I say carry, it just means his ball doesn't drop as much as a hitter expects it to drop because it spins so fast.
Stays alive.
Went right back to it.
Ausmus leaning so heavily on Norris and this young rotation down the stretch. 2 on 2 out. And the 0-2.
Daniel Norris, just a fascinating guy to talk to. Of course, I know got a lot of play. Spring trainings he has spent living out of his 78 VW van. Well, that tells you that, yeah, he's a left-hander. But he's got a lot of interest. You know, I was talking to him yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a work day for him. He's a big-time photographer, you know, as a hobby, and actually now as professional, because he showed me some photos he was taking of Ian Kinsler for a new bat company that was starting out, and they hired Daniel to do the photographic work, take a portrait of him. And I'll tell you, it was good, professional quality. So he likes taking his camera with him with teams on the road. Go take some pictures of cityscapes. He's really into taking pictures of homeless people and being able to tell their stories. He understands more than most people that this is a fantasy life, being a big league ball player. And he understands that the real world out there is a little bit different, a lot different. And he likes sharing the stories.
Pretty impressive for a 23-year-old. 2 on 2 down. Norris working with the runner in scoring position for the first time since the second inning. Orlando at second base, Cuthbert at first. The 1-2 to Hosmer.
See McCann working him now. Take it easy. He's trying to go for the punch out with a little more on that four-seamer up. See the 85 pitches? None of them he has shaken off. Put this entire game in McCann's hands. He really doesn't like getting bogged down with detailed scouting reports on hitters. He likes to look up videos. to see the swing paths of the hitters. That's about it.
Now this will be his second 20-pitch inning. Now the 2-2.
Now that's the pitch I said is going to get him to the next level. You can get that 2-strike breaking ball to get the chase swing or in the zone. Look out. I got to believe right here he's got to go back to that 4-seam fastball up. Strength on strength with the runners going on the pitch.
Morales would be next. Now the payoff pitch. He strikes out the side, and he strands runners at first and second base. First, it was Hunter Dozier. Got him looking. Then Raul Mondesi. And he finishes it off with Hosmer. Podcast is sponsored by T-Mobile, bringing you greater coverage of today's game. Fox Saturday Baseball from inside Comerica Park. The spirit of Detroit as we make our way to the bottom of the 5th inning. Justin Upton leads things off. Now Ventura has had some pretty laborious innings, the 3rd and the 4th. Allowed a run in the 4th inning, left the bases loaded, however. And now facing Justin Upton to begin the 5th. 5 of Upton's last hits have been home runs.
That had to be the best move of the year by Brad Ausmus.
Sitting him for 3 days?
Yeah, back in August. This guy's hitting .226. Calls him in the office and says, listen, you're not playing for the next 3 days. You don't even have to take BP. Do whatever you want to do, but I'm giving you a mental break for 3 days. And nobody in baseball has hit more home runs since then.
One, 2.
On fire. And Brad telling us that he's hit more big home runs in this time period than anybody on the team the entire season. I found it really interesting too, Aaron, where the genesis of that idea came from.
A fair ball. Upton was slowing down. Now put it on the Jets. Goes to second base, a leadoff double.
That's twice the Tigers have done that. You saw Maven get an RBI single on an emergency hack. And this is a mistake of a swing by Upton. He's fooled on the curveball and just figures, all right, I'll do something here. I can't even call that a swing. Either that, it's my golf swing. And he gets 2 bases out of it. That's when you know you're hot.
Now, meanwhile, here comes the training staff for Kansas City.
Yeah, this is interesting because Sal Perez went out there before this inning started after the warm-up and had a long discussion with Yordan Ventura. Yeah, I'm not sure if he went out there with something in mind here, but this was a long conversation before the inning started. Sometimes you have to tell a pitcher, listen, don't be a hero, especially at this point of the year for Kansas City. If there's something that's bothering you, be as honest as you can. And they're going to get somebody up, and maybe even in this game, yeah.
Ventura is done. We will have a new pitcher. We'll step aside here in the bottom of the 5th. Royals make the AT&T call to the pin as we play with Upton at second base, a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 5th. And then Yost calls on Peter Moylan, a longtime right-hander, many years in Atlanta.
Sinker slider guy. He was not up previously, so he gets as much time as he needs to replace Ventura. Let's go back to his last pitch here. See if we see anything. This is a curveball, just a bad luck double as far as Ventura is concerned, but there's nothing evident in that delivery. Getting off the mound. Gave away no signs. I'll go back to Monday, and I asked Giordano yesterday about this. This was his first complete 9-inning complete game of his career. After the game, he gets a hug. I thought maybe Drew Butera hit him too hard. Look at him here. He looks winded, grimacing, in pain. I said, so what was going on? He said, I was really sick to my stomach. You can see him wearing it right there. I talked to him yesterday. He seemed fine in terms of any lingering effects of whatever was bothering him Monday. We just don't know what took him out of the game today.
Now for Kansas City, their season, really the main storyline has been the injuries. And to many of their top players, many of the stars that helped lead them to the World Series each of the last 2 years and helped them win it all last season. Of course, Lorenzo Cain, a major loss. Wade Davis has been on the disabled list twice. Medlin, Moustakas, an early exit to the season, blew out his knee, and that collided with Alex Gordon, who injured his wrist. And Gordon has not had a strong season whatsoever. Hochevar, a big loss out of the bullpen, too.
Yeah, this month, the loss of Cain really hurt because this team started firing on all cylinders. They got hot mid-late August, and they ran out of gas when Cain went down.
Of course, none of that includes Greg Holland, out for the year because of Tommy John, that procedure happening late last season, which thrust Wade Davis into the closer spot. Not many teams in baseball have plan A, B, and C for a closer like the Royals do. Maybe only the Yankees at one point. Moylan facing McCann. Moylan working on back-to-back days.
Giants are still looking for a plan A.
You're right.
They're auditioning people daily.
They've gone back to plan A from years ago. McCann, an infield single in his first at-bat. He is up to the second base. Tigers lead it by 2. Now Moylan probably never thought that he would have as many outings this year for Ned Yost as he has. He signed with Kansas City as a minor league free agent and has posted his highest relief total in terms of appearances since 2010 with the Braves. This has not been an easy bullpen to crack into in recent years.
See the difficulty McCann's facing against the slingshot delivery, the ball working away with the slider, in on the sinker.
Now Perez is in the other batter's box. Maybe no surprise that misses to make it 1-2. Up to the excuse me double now at second base. Fights this off, still 1-2.
Just getting back to Brad Ausmus as inspiration
Yes.
for his respite for Mr. Upton. Now, Brad played a lot of different places, played for a lot of great managers, but he went back to when he was in A-ball playing for Brian Butterfield, now the third base coach of the Boston Red Sox, one of the best in the business. Back then, he was his A-ball manager in the Yankees system. Brian Butterfield looked at a scuffling JT Snow and said, "You're getting the next 3 days off, son. You just need a mental break from baseball." And that tells you why this guy, Brad Ausmus, is a manager. You're paying attention to something like that in A-ball when everybody's, for the most part, worried about themselves. How can I get to the next level? And he's filing away managerial tendencies and decisions. That's why Brad was one of those guys when he was catching. You always heard it. He's going to be a manager someday. Done a nice job this year with a steady hand on a team that's been playing unsteady baseball up until the last month or so.
Full count. Now Brian Butterfield, his name forever linked to Derek Jeter. And Jeter was a scuffling short season shortstop committed
more than 50 errors.
Yes. Worked every day during one of his very first off seasons with Butterfield. Strike 3 called. McCann rung up. Got him that time with the slider.
That's a veteran pitcher, can throw a breaking ball for a strike with 2 strikes. 3 balls, full count here. Got a lot of the plate, but the element of surprise. Yeah, that offseason you're talking about, that was instructional league after I think Derek's first year, or maybe even after he made the 50 errors, and Brian Butterfield was one of the instructors there. He said we had to break him down completely to the point that we had to teach him how to catch a baseball. I said, come on, wait, catch a baseball? Everybody knows how to catch a baseball. I said, no, we really had to teach him to have some give. Derek always wanted to go out and get the baseball and stab at it. And we worked on just having some give in the hands. Soften up the hands a little bit. Sounds like a simple thing, and it is a simple thing. And that's what instructional league is for.
Well, when Jeter made his final All-Star team back in 2014 at Target Field, Brian Butterfield, coach with the Red Sox, one of the coaches in that game. It's kind of a full circle moment as Butterfield was in that American League dugout, and when Jeter was called out of the game, the line of hugs for everyone for Jeter in the American League dugout, and of course Brian Butterfield was there with probably the heartiest hug of anybody.
Yeah, one thing about Derek, as much of a creature of habit as I've ever come across, when he first reported after he got drafted out of high school right here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, you know, of course, as a high school player, he used an aluminum bat, metal bat. He gets to instructional league, there's a whole bin of bats. And he picked one that was most like his aluminum bat in terms of size and shape. Well, he never changed bats. From that moment till his very last day, more than 3,000 hits with the same exact bat. And the same went for his glove. He used the same glove his entire career. Talk about creatures of habit.
Out to right field. Dozier hasn't had a whole lot of activity out there in right field. Makes that catch easily. 2 outs. College football kicks off tonight with the Big 12 showdown as Oklahoma State faces number 16 Baylor at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Oklahoma State now 2-1 after that just ridiculously incredible loss versus Central Michigan, one that the officiating crew went under such scrutiny for. Two outs. Upton at second base after the double.
So when I mentioned Derek Jeter's glove, it was very unusual. He had a closed web on his glove. You see all the infielders in the major leagues, there's some opening in the web. Of course, that's to catch pop-ups on days like this where you can look through the glove. Derek had the basket weave where it was closed. And I'm still waiting for the next infielder, especially middle infielder, to have a glove that doesn't have the open web design. It's Derek. It's probably what he wore in high school.
T-ball or something?
And just didn't change. Well, you know, that's part of what made him great. Was he was that, when I say creature of habit, the routines that he brought to the ballpark every day. Very few great players have ever been around who didn't have a true routine to prepare themselves to play these 162 games in 183 days.
Two outs. Upton at second base. And the 2-1 to Iglesias. Moylan taking over for Ventura, who had to exit because of some form of injury that we could not really detect. 4+ for Ventura. Moylan off the mound. A scoop and a toss. Upton stranded at second base. We have completed 5 innings. Tigers leading this one. day. And by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. On to the top of the 6th inning. Tigers leading 3-1. Only run for the Royals so far on the sacrifice fly by Alcides Escobar back in the 2nd. One and one. Tom, safe to say that Norris has impressed over the first 5 innings?
Yeah, it really has. I love the way he bounced back after that rough 2nd inning. This guy's been a bit of a thorn. Kendrys Morales, leadoff hitter for the most part. Led off 2 innings by getting on base, walk and a single. Interesting hitter, one of the great back foot hitters. When he takes a rip, you'll see the front foot. Gets the front foot down, and then he'll spin off the heel of his front foot. Get really good hands. So he's got that pad on the front side, hits a lot of balls off. Guys who have the long strides will do that.
Morales having a scorching hot month of September, batting .329. Leading the majors in RBIs this month. He has been as up and down as any hitter in the game this season. He's had 2 months batting under 200. Including just a 163 month of May.
Watch his feet here. Watch that front foot where he'll spin off of it. Front toes will actually come up. Gotta have good hands to do that without getting the front side really with a lot of weight down on it.
High out towards center. Maben only looking, and a 30 home run season for Kendrys Morales. 2nd time in his career. He's having himself a day, taking Norris deep. That is not a cheap home run by any means.
Strong, strong hands. There's that swing, gets up on the heel, the hands through the baseball. See the recoil, that bat, the way it comes all the way around the back. That's a varsity home run right there. Nothing cheap about that one, leaving this yard dead central. You know, next year in Houston, I don't know if it's official, but they're talking about getting rid of Towles Hill.
It was supposed to be gone this year.
Yeah, a lot of center fielders are rejoicing. And if they do that, this ballpark will have the deepest center field in baseball. 420 to dead central. Went just a little bit to the left of center.
Makes this a 1-run game. Only the 11th Royal in the history of Kansas City's franchise with a 30 home run season. First time for Morales since that MVP type season back in 2009 with the Angels when he hit 34 bombs.
Steve Balboni's record still stands, by the way. How is that possible? The all-time single-season home run leader for the Royals, surviving 30 years of a home run explosion in this game.
Up the middle, Kinsler curls over to it. 1 out.
I think Balboni hit 36.
Bye-bye, Balboni.
That would be the one, part of that great '85 championship team.
One out, a run in. And it brings in Alex Gordon. This time playable for Maben. 2 outs. Two outs, a run in, a 1-run game as we take a look at today's game summary, sponsored by Budweiser. Norris has been nearly brilliant. The home run soured things a little bit on his line here in the 6th inning. But Tigers' first and second hitters 5 for 6. Kinsler and Maben. A couple of runs, 2 runs driven in, and then Morales is having himself a day. Has reached base all 3 times, a walk, a single, now the home run we just saw. No 1-1 to Escobar.
You know, and I like giving some rope here to Daniel Norris. Well, 7 of his starts have been 5 innings or less this year. And we talked about all these young pitchers, but because of injuries, he came into this game only with 86 innings this year. So he does not have any governors on him this time of the year, as we find in many places with young pitchers. Stuff is still good. I talked at the top about using the ballpark. Only 4 outs on the ground. Tried to use the ballpark on Morales.
Shot through the right side. Escobar's first hit. Now to 100 pitches for Daniel Norris.
Yep, now that may be it. And it is. Don't want to have him now try to execute pitches out of the stretch this deep into the game.
Royals have the tying run with speed aboard at first base. Five and 2/3 innings responsible for Escobar on base. As we take a look at T-Mobile greater coverage of baseball, we see the final line for Norris, including 6 strikeouts in this one today, Tom.
Yeah, you see the slider there, the changeup there. Primarily this was the pitch, the 4-seam fastball, getting calls, but a lot of swings and misses on the fastball. Breaking ball right there. I thought he did an excellent job in this game, controlling his emotions on the mound, giving his team a chance to win.
Gives way to Alex Wilson, who's been a steadying factor in the Tigers bullpen in recent seasons. Facing Dozier here with 2 outs and a man on base. And right away checking in on Escobar. One of those 6 strikeouts from Norris went to Dozier. He was caught looking back in the 5th.
Alex Wilson, a good example of how much this game has changed with reliance on specialty relievers. Everything he throws will be in a narrow window in terms of velocity. About 86 to 93, cutter, slider. In other words, If you're just pitching 2-3 batters at a time, you don't need an off-speed pitch.
Iglesias gets rid of it quickly to Kinsler. And that ends the inning. A man left, but a run in. Kendrys Morales with his second career 30-homer season, and this was a bomb. Kendrys Morales putting a dent in this Tigers lead, which has been cut to 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Getting word that Yordano Ventura leaving after one batter in the 5th because of lower back tightness, considered day-to-day. This is him stretching out before the start of that 5th inning, the bottom half. We saw Peter Moylan for an inning, who took over in quick relief, and now Matt Strahm, the lefty.
Boy, he's done a really nice job, really playing himself into the plans for 2017 for this Kansas City team. Hides the ball really well. It's got a little bit of a crossfire delivery. Mid-90s fastball, really nice breaking ball, and he can change angles with his release point on that breaking ball.
Of his 18 outings so far with Kansas City, 16 have been scoreless. And he just simply has not given up many hits. Ball's behind a Kinsler, though, 3-0.
So when I talk about a crossfire delivery, the left foot will be on the third base side of the rubber. You can almost see where his landing foot is. He'll actually start out with that front foot, the right foot, closer to first base, and that's the stride direction as well, so he's gonna have to throw over the front side. It's a difficult thing to do to repeat as a starting pitcher. If you're talking about being 180, 190 inning guy, works well short exposure out of the bullpen. It's very difficult for a left-hander to pick up a ball, but even for a right-hander, because he hides it so well, his body is in front of the ball. Not happy with a leadoff walk.
What a day it's been for Cameron Maybin, having a career season, having a fine Saturday afternoon here from Detroit. Single back in the 1st inning, tied it up in the 3rd, and then helped extend the lead in the 4th. Maybe a chance for a 4-hit day, and we are only in the 6th inning. Bunts the first pitch foul, strike one.
He had himself a base hit. Second baseman shading second base, pushed that ball away from Morales, and again Morales really just a handful of times he's been out there at first base. See all the room right here. He puts it anywhere in there. That's a gimme base hit.
An eye on Kinsler. Maben does not have a 4-hit game this year. Oh, 2. And Maben has been stepping inside the batter's box recently with Kinsler at first base a lot. Kinsler, a leadoff walk. He's now reached base in 8 of his last 10 plate appearances. Remember, Maben missed some time. Left thumb sprain. Returned from the disabled list in late August.
Yeah, looked like he tweaked it on that swing. Fastball up, just got underneath it. Maben, good 2-strike hitter. It's 237 with 2 strikes. I know that doesn't sound great, but the average is about $170. Look at him choke up on the bat. He's got no strikes or 1 strike. He's down at the knob. He goes into a 2-strike mode. That's what he's doing right here, just fighting off pitches. It's a good rip earlier, those 3 hits, where you can see how quiet his lower half is. Very simple swing. Even shorter to the ball, choking up on the bat right here. Now you can tell he's in a little bit of discomfort here in this at bat, taking time between pitches now. Very simple swing. You don't see a lot of movement in the lower half.
How many guys do you see choking up anymore, Tom?
Look, he's just gone up a little more on the bat right here. Not enough, I'll tell you that. And I think the best example is Anthony Rizzo with the Cubs. He's a great 30 home run hitter, great power hitter. And he chokes up with 2 strikes.
Now 2-2.
And you're seeing the result. You know, no matter what the end result is in this at bat, it's making strong work out there. Keep getting yourself to the next pitch, fouling off pitches.
Dozier in right field. He'll see another one. Pitch number 8 coming up.
And I'd be shocked if he pulls the ball in this at bat. The way he's feeling right now, his natural swing to right field, choking up, shortening up on the swing. Everything going the other way.
He has fouled off 4 pitches with 2 strikes.
Aaron, I can feel it when he's fouling these pitches off. He did not look comfortable here. Every foul ball, you see some kind of body language that just says, ouch.
Time was called by Salvador Perez. Each of Maben's first 2 hits today came with 2 strikes against him. He's got a 2-2 count.
He's choking up even more. Felix Millan.
He'll be on the barrel pretty soon. Escobar to Mondesi on a first, not in time. Kinsler cut down at second base.
very difficult double up, obviously. It wasn't hit hard, but with his speed, no shot at getting 2.
One out, one on for Miguel Cabrera. Intentionally walked his last time up.
Miggy has faced Strom just once before. Wouldn't surprise me if he's going to sit on breaking ball in this at bat.
You can see Maben wearing the oven mitt on that left hand, trying to protect that thumb. I'll tell you what, Tom, if I was a guy that made a living on the base paths like Maben has this year, I'd wear the oven mitt on both hands. That gives you an extension.
You're right, it does. I would rather slide feet first myself. Just seen too many guys wreck their thumbs and fingers with those head first slides. But it's instinct. A lot of runners will slide feet first when they know they've got the bag easy. Head first when it's going to be close.
2-1. Now the Tigers have 10 hits in this game. Seems like they have had almost every other at bat with a runner in scoring position so far this afternoon. And yet they are leading by just 1 run.
That was 2 fastballs right there. 1 take and 1 late from Miguel Cabrera. So again, why I thought maybe he was looking off speed.
Count pushes full.
He really hasn't seen a pitch to drive the whole day, the way they pitched him.
Tough day for Victor Martinez. 0 for 3 on deck. Couple of strikeouts. Now Strom is facing only his 3rd batter this inning. He has thrown 20 pitches.
I'm surprised Maben's not running right here. Miggy's going to put the ball in play. Not much of a lead at all over there. I'd be running. Good thing he wasn't running.
Perfect timing. 2 outs. Unforgettable games, undeniable greatness, and unstoppable drama. The 2016 postseason begins October 4th. Just go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. Want to give some signs from up here, Tom?
That's why I'm up here.
Hey, how about we check in on the American League wildcard race? Really, for the first time all season, the Orioles are on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoff picture.
They salvaged a big one last night, didn't they?
Boy, they needed that. Swept by the red-hot Boston Red Sox, who have won 9 in a row. Strike 1 to Victor Martinez.
Well, to me, the number is going to be either 88 or 89. Probably 89, but maybe 88. And if it's 88, Houston is allowed 1 more loss. Seattle 2. And of course, they play each other next week.
Coming up soon. It's away from Salvador Perez. David into second base.
And if it's 89, Houston has to run the table. Seattle can only lose once. I'm assuming Toronto goes 5-4. Detroit maybe 6-3. Worst 5-4 I think is good enough to get in. We'll see though.
Now something for the Astros. Carlos Correa having to leave late in last night's loss to the Angels. Re-aggravating that shoulder injury. Astros trying to get to the wild card for the second straight year. Yankees were red hot for some time. It was looking like they were going to make a pretty serious push. Then they started to fizzle.
How about the Tigers will be playing, I believe, for one of the American League wild card spots, and they will finish up playing under National League rules in Atlanta. And this man, Victor Martinez, at the plate, is going to be a pinch hitter.
Every day of the baseball season, there is an interleague game. That is a serious pair of handcuffs thrown the way of Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. It probably will come down to the last weekend of the season, and the guy who's hitting cleanup for him will not be in his starting lineup. They got the short straw when it came to the schedule. As you said, somebody has to be playing interleague baseball every day. This year, it's Detroit at Atlanta.
Now Strom has just really struggled putting Tigers hitters away with 2 strikes. Did eventually get Cabrera. May have been fouled off 4 pitches with 2 strikes. You can see the pitch count is nearing 30 to get the first 2 outs.
That's why Dave Island's on the phone. Anything over 30 for a young pitcher will start setting off some alarms.
Two on, 2 out. Second walk this inning. The leadoff walk now, a 2-out walk.
Yeah, here's a visit to accomplish 2 things. One, give your bullpen more time, get someone ready, but also something mechanical probably with Strom, who's losing the ball up to his arm side. Talked about that crossfire delivery, not quite in sync this inning.
Kevin McCarthy beginning to warm up. Rookie out of New York.
And this is always a danger pitch to me, Aaron. When you've got a pure fastball hitter at the plate, young pitcher struggling to throw strikes. Pitching coach just came out. First thing on his mind right here is get ahead, get ahead, get ahead. Probably with a fastball. Better be a quality fastball if you're going to throw first pitch fastball to this guy.
Missing high with the heat for ball 1.
Trying to find a release point, just getting underneath the baseball.
Last time through the order, last 9 hitters for the Tigers have seen over 50 pitches. 53 to be exact. And now a 3-0 count to JD Martinez.
Saw Sal went away from the fastball. 2 changeups in a row there. I don't know where you go right here, but I know I would not assume that he's taking it. He's got the green light right here.
Strom's 3-0. Takes a strike.
That's a 3-0 strike. Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
Right grin right there from JD Martinez. Any other count, that pitch not a strike. 3-0. Stay in the box, young man.
And now the count is full.
Chase the fastball.
Strom does not want to face Upton, or whoever would be facing Upton. McCarthy warming to the bullpen.
It's amazing how many 3-2 pitches are fouled off. If you ever want to make money, you're watching a baseball game. Friendly wagers, of course, with a buddy. Anytime the count is 3-2, just bet it's going to be a foul ball. More often than not, it is, and I don't know why.
This is a fact.
It's a fact. It's a fact of life.
Through the left side. Maben coming around. He scores standing. J.D. Martinez making Strom pay. This has been a very difficult 35-pitch sixth inning for Matt Strom, and the Tigers cash in.
Well, you could almost feel it coming, right? All these pitches, couldn't put hitters away. Fastball count to a fastball hitter, and he got him. The grind of this Tigers offense. Detroit grind doing its thing.
Strom is done. Kevin McCarthy coming in for the Royals. Come through Detroit or through Kansas City. But how about the Cleveland Indians this year? Their magic number is now down to 3, trying to win their first division since 2007. They've been incredible at home. They've been red hot lately, and they have, they've really just feasted on the Tigers this year.
That record at home, obviously the best in the American League, as you see there. Their offensive numbers are crazy. The disparity between their home numbers and their road numbers. They've got something going on at home. So for them, as for Texas, as for Boston, home field advantage means something. I mean, you always want to have it, but this year I look at the disparity and I say, yeah, there's some meaning behind that.
Kevin McCarthy, 24 years old. Made his major league debut in the first week of September. And he's on here inheriting 2 runners. Victor Martinez at second, J.D. Martinez at first base after his second RBI base hit today. Not an easy landing for McCarthy out of the bullpen. Facing red-hot Justin Upton. Starts him off the ball 1.
And these Kansas City pitchers are finding out getting through 1 through 6 in this batting order. Man, it's like one of those obstacle course mud race things to try to get through.
Your typical weekend, is that what you're saying?
Man, you come out bloodied, muddied, and tired. They've been on base 13 times already. We're just in the 6th inning.
2 outs, 2 on, 2 balls, and a strike now to Upton. A home run in 2 of his last 3 games and 5 of his last 7 games. A double in his last at bat, really a check swing, excuse me, double, just sneaked fair. Into center, Orlando playing it on a hop. Victor Martinez has not run well. He holds held at third. And again, the bases are loaded, this time with 2 outs.
I mean, that ball was absolutely scorched. I mean, Maben's not even scoring from second base on that one. Well, he looks good these last 6 weeks, Justin Upton. I said it when he signed here. He's a guy capable of carrying a team for lengths of time, but for 4 months, 5 months, people were saying, where is it? Well, here it is. Red hot Justin Upton.
And there's a certain element of ebb and flow with Upton, correct? Or this is you enjoy the hot streaks while you can have them.
That's why you stay patient through those cold streaks, because those can be just as long as the hot streaks can be.
Strike 1 of McCann. McCann ran a full count in each of his first 3 at-bats. Quickly 0-2. StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. We take a look at the base runners. Victor Martinez at third base, reached on the walk. J.D. Martinez an RBI single at second. Upton with a searing single into center field. The man at first. McCarthy is able to work out of a bases loaded jam to end the 6th inning. But a run in through 6 for 2 Tigers. Fourth with the American League Wild Card on TBS on October 5th with the National League Wild Card on ESPN. Then October 7th, the National League Division Series begins on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, we've talked plenty today about the American League Wild Card. How about we check in on the National League Wild Card? New York and San Francisco at the top, and St. Louis just a half game back. Pittsburgh, Miami behind the Redbirds. First pitch missing to Mondesi from Justin Wilson, Tigers' new pitcher.
Very similar to his namesake, Alex Wilson, who we just saw. Everything in a narrow window. Fastball, cutter.
Alex Wilson works just a third of an inning scoreless. He took over for Daniel Norris, finished off the 6th inning.
So we saw the National League wild card race. I tipped you off as to what I'm rooting for.
Oh, pure chaos.
Chaos.
Complete anarchy.
3-way tie.
Utter disaster. Kinsler for round number 1.
Which we've never seen. Never seen a 3-way tie. In this case, because of all kinds of tiebreaker procedures, New York would play at St. Louis. Winner is the first wild card. Loser then goes to San Francisco. And the winner of that gets the second wild card. How great would that be?
It'd be chaotic.
We would start the postseason with 4 win or go home games. 2 tiebreaker games, 2 wild card games.
Now, that'd be thrilling. That'd be.
And that's assuming the American League wraps up neat and clean.
Right.
Oh, man, it's going to be March Madness come October.
Do the schedule makers get a raise? All this happens. Promotions at least. Going on to Orlando.
The travel directors will, I know that.
Now, we talked earlier about the siege of injuries for the Royals this year, and Orlando is someone who has made the most of his playing time this season. When Lorenzo Cain had to miss some time earlier this year with the hamstring injury, it was Orlando to take over in center field. And then even when Cain came back and was healthy, Orlando stayed in center. He looked that good, and Cain was in right. And missing Lorenzo Cain is a huge heartbeat that the Royals don't have on the field these days.
Yeah, they tried to bring him back one day early this month and just wasn't healthy enough to give it a go.
Cabrera in very shallow right field. 2 outs. Couple of weak pop-ups.
I think what you see sometimes with Orlando and now with Cuthbert, who's coming to the plate now, is guys are really conditioned to be role players with extended playing time. Starting to see the attrition, the wear and tear catch up to them.
Cuthbert an infield single his last time up. We talk about Lorenzo Cain. The Royals losing Mike Moustakas for the year, and you were around this team throughout the entire postseason last year, Tom. Moustakas, a guy that it seems like productivity offensively, defensively, and also just that presence and that energy that Moustakas brings. I mean, there's not everybody you bring antlers to the ballpark for.
Yeah, and same with that guy, Cain. I mean, the energy that he brings, the things that he can do defensively and on the bases. We always tend to look at the production offensively in the batter's box. Those 2 guys bring this team a lot more, and that's been missed. It just goes to show you. I think in today's game too, it's always been true, but especially now, man, it is tough to repeat. 4 straight years now, the defending world champion will not even be in the postseason.
Iglesias putting on the brakes quickly. Long throw in time.
They may want to look at this to see if Miggy stayed on the bag. What arm strength right here. Set himself, got a lot on the ball. Did he stay on the bag? And Ned Yo says, I think he did. We're going to let it stand.
Iglesias, who has not been as effective to his rights, making a fantastic play. Justin Wilson, a 1-2-3, top of the 7th. Here at Comerica Park, Fox Saturday Baseball continues as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Tom Verducci. And Tom, we had a chance to see Daniel Norris work into the 6th inning, 5 2/3, just 2 runs. You could tell when we talked to Justin Verlander during the broadcast, he has been invigorated by this young rotation. His manager Brad Ausmus has as well.
I mean, stop and think about this. The last 10 games of the year, probably 8 starts are going to pitchers for the Tigers who really haven't pitched in September races at all before. And I thought Norris handled, if you want to call it pressure, atmosphere, whatever, really well today. His stuff is good, but emotionally I thought he was very balanced throughout his start. Matt Boyd takes the baton tomorrow. Buck Farmer after that. And you saw Michael Fulmer last night throwing a gem. So on the face of it, you say, wow, 4 young starters down the stretch, that's pretty risky. No, when you watch these guys pitch. And then there's the old goat, Justin Verlander, who's about throwing as well as anybody in baseball.
Now Verlander, a 2.16 ERA since the All-Star break. That is the best in the American League. It's 3rd best in the majors. And you can tell he is really enjoying this. And one of the most interesting comments, Tom, interested in your thoughts, when he talked about pitching in the postseason and pitching in pennant type games like the Tigers are in these days, trying to keep that wild card. He made the comment that every inning feels like 2, which I thought was fascinating.
I thought that was so cool.
Romine and a weak skimmer. Escobar handles it cleanly. And there is out number 1. Today's telecast sponsored by Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who go the extra mile. And by Cialis.
By the way, I'll have to tell Justin, I meant it only in the best possible way to be calling him an old goat. Because I do believe he enjoys this role here. Almost, I don't want to say quite mentor, but certainly staff leader in a lot of ways, other than just being the ace and the first guy to take the ball. But yeah, I'm with you, Aaron, on what he said about pitching in a big game. Because how many times have we heard guys say, it's just another game.
Right.
Treat it the same as any other start. They all count the same. I just want to keep my team in the game. You know, everything out of the Nuke Lelouch playbook of cliches. And here we got a guy saying, no, man, I get jacked up for this. Every inning counts like double. Pitches a lot on adrenaline in a positive way. And he does set the tone for this staff. You know, talking to Daniel Norris yesterday, he talked about just watching Justin pitch. You can't help but be aggressive yourself.
On to Iglesias. Makes it 0-2. I thought that was really one of the great quotes from a pitcher. As you're right, honesty is not an easy thing to find among major league stars or rookies or anyone in between when they talk about the importance of a game and what the game feels like, especially down the stretch.
You know, a lot of times in this game, as a young player, you're at the mercy of the wheel of fortune of baseball. What team that drafts you, what team acquires you, and then you're surrounded by people who will influence your development. So if you're a young Tiger pitcher and you're around Justin Verlander, you hit the lottery.
Two outs.
Got a standoff here. He hasn't tagged him yet. Iglesias hasn't run yet.
Well, when we laugh here with 2 outs, how about we check in with Ryan Field back in Los Angeles. Ryan, what's happening? Ten to 3. Cardinals trying to make that wild card push. To the top of the order, here is Ian Kinsler. You go team by team around baseball this year, Tom, and the amount of home runs that Mike Matheny's Cardinals have hit has got to be one of the great surprises in baseball. Now, Matheny will say otherwise, that he saw it coming.
Yeah, I don't know to this extent. If you really pinned him down and told before the year started he'd have this many guys with 20 home runs. Odd St. Louis team, or atypical I should say, for rely, as you said, on a home run ball. Really, they don't play very good defense, and they haven't played well at home.
Yeah, this isn't Whitey ball anymore.
No. And again, who doesn't rely on the home run ball these days? Maybe San Francisco, Kansas City. That's about it. The highest home run rate in the history of the game, other than 2000, and it's getting close.
You look at the guy that played right now, Kinsler. His last 4 years has averaged 15 home runs a season. This year he's already thumped 26. Orlando unable to get there as Kinsler is just living on base. He's reached base in 9 of his last 11 plate appearances, and we're seeing power, Tom, not just from the usual suspects, right? The guys in the corners, but how about this? The guys up the middle.
That's crazy. I think I looked up. The record had been 13 middle infielders in any one season with 20 or more home runs. Well beyond that. As we'll start with Brian Dozier, the second baseman, with threatening the all-time record at 40. There's your list. Look how many of these guys have their career highs. Everybody but Ian Kinsler going places they've never been before in terms of home run totals at second base.
Maben on the first pitch. It's a quick way to end things. Morales showing that he's still kind of spry over there at first base. Kinsler left stranded. We're through 7. At the top of the 8th. Now be sure to catch the final game of this series on your local Fox Sports regions. Tune in tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Central on Fox Sports Kansas City and noon Eastern on Fox Sports Detroit. Bruce Rondon up on the mound now, pitching for the Tigers, taking over for Justin Wilson. First pitch strike to Hosmer.
So 95 right there. He's just getting loose. Typically he's going to average 98, 99 on that heater. Really good slider. It's always been the key for me. When he throws his slider for strikes, he's almost unhittable.
It was around this time last season that Rondon was simply asked to leave the Tigers. Really a bizarre ending. Missed all of 2014 due to Tommy John surgery. Had a miserable season last year at his return, an ERA that was pushing 6. I can't remember the last time that a player down the very final stretch on the Tigers were out of it was simply said, why don't you just start the offseason early?
Take it on home, and here he is pitching a key 8th inning in a pennant race.
What a turnaround. Good for him. Still 1-2 to Eric Hosmer. Hitless so far today, a couple of strikeouts.
Well, just being out there, Aaron, is a tremendous confidence boost. Think about it. Hosmer, Morales, Perez coming up middle of the order, 2-run game. Game you need to win in a pennant race. And you've got the ball in the 8th.
And is able to retire Hosmer to lead things off in the 8th inning. That brings in Kendrys Morales, having himself a day. We take a look at StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. His last time up, this was a shot.
Yeah, Daniel Norris didn't want to take a look. He didn't bother turning around. So Daniel, here's the metrics on that one. 433 feet to dead central. Wow.
For Morales, his second career 30 home run season. It'll be interesting for the Royals. They have an $11 million option on Morales for next season. They have the shift on for Kendrys. 0-2.
While we have time, Aaron, I just wanted to make sure that didn't let the day go without congratulating and thanking the best in this business that there ever was, Vin Scully. We had pregame ceremony last night. This is his final weekend at Dodger Stadium. He will work the last 3 games of the year in San Francisco. But there's never been anyone better at presenting the word pictures and being a friend to a baseball fan, whether you met him or not, than Vin Scully. And I was fortunate enough to write a cover story at SI this year on Vin, and I can tell you that one of my professional and personal highlights was after that story ran, getting a phone call from Vin Scully. It absolutely blew me away. Just the kindness of the man. To say someone is a great broadcaster and probably the greatest baseball broadcaster of all time, complimentary enough, but I can honestly tell you he's just exceeds that as a human being in his humility and generosity and kindness. Just something we all should aspire to.
Into the teeth of the shift. Long throw. Nice play there by Kinsler.
And just for the fun of it, this is what gets me the most. This is going to blow your mind about Vin Scully. We know he's been the best in the business for 67 years. He started in 1950. You see, Kinsler made that play there. Started in 1950. The manager of the Philadelphia A's that year was Connie Mack. He was still active as a manager when Vin Scully began his career in different leagues, but active at the same time. Now, Connie Mack was born in 1862 during the Civil War. Now, Vin Scully is now calling games pitched by Julio Urias, the Dodgers pitcher who was born in 1996, the year Google launched their web search engine.
That about sums it up.
Civil War to Google, the span of Vin Scully's career.
I'm going to say that covers most of America's history. Good pick by Romine. That is remarkable. Well, a hearty congratulations to the greatest of all time, Mr. Vin Scully. Order online and track your order. And by the Lincoln Motor Company and the exhilarating new Lincoln MKZ. Really just a perfect autumn day here from Detroit. As we turn the page, go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And as Wade Davis working for the first time in a week.
Not many saves to be had these days for Kansas City, and so the closer gets the 8th inning trailing 2. And we get a matchup with Wade Davis and Miguel Cabrera. How about the top 2/3 of this lineup for Detroit? On base all day. By the way, Miggy is 7 for 20 off of Wade Davis in his career. .350 batting average. Who has those numbers against Wade Davis?
Cabrera ahead at 2-0. Cabrera now 33 in the midst of his 14th season. Just under a week ago, picked up his career base hit 2,500. The youngest to do that since Hank Aaron back in 1967. Seems like Cabrera really has that, well, skill set that you obviously can't teach. And for the era of video for hitters, Cabrera seems to be a guy that it's almost a less and more approach. And when you have his type of skill set rather, that tends to work out all right. One down.
He's mentioned 33 years old. To me, he has an approach and a swing. Well, he has fun playing the game, by the way. He talks with everybody. That is going to age very well. Almost like a David Ortiz. You know, you see what Ortiz is doing at the age of 40. He's so smart. And, you know, besides studying the game, Ortiz is just incredible, his instincts as a hitter. And I think Miguel built the same way, maybe physically as well.
Yeah, pretty similar.
That I think that swing is going to play into his late 30s, near 40.
Now the Tigers certainly hope so with the contract they've locked him up with. Victor Martinez on the screws into right field. His first hit today. Well, speaking of Big Papi, David Ortiz. What a race this year for the American League MVP. Jose Altuve again over 200 hits. Mookie Betts is simply one of the brightest young stars in a crop that we, unlike what we have seen almost ever. Donaldson and Ailing Hip are the numbers overall this year, still very good. And of course, Mike Trout has never finished lower than second in the MVP voting.
That may continue too. I don't think he's going to win, but don't rule him out. I haven't really sat down myself to crunch these numbers, and I'd like to see what happens down the stretch for these teams in contention. But don't rule out Mike Trout. He is that much better than everybody else in the league.
Jacoby Jones pinch running at first base. Away from Perez. Jones quickly into second base. Wild pitch from Wade Davis.
It just looked like a cutter. He pulled, and Sal's going to try to pick it like a first baseman here on the backhand. It just doesn't stick.
Davis, an all-star in back-to-back seasons, has been on the DL twice this year. And to the corner in right field and foul. So Tom, based on your previous comment, makes it sound like that you believe that voters, despite the Angels' horrific record this year, will still look at what Trout has done and recognize that he's the best player in the game.
Well, I also think that he's going to finish high on a lot of ballots, and I think you'll see a lot of different players get first place votes. So maybe just the way the voting breaks down, he may sneak in. I mean, how do you pick between Mookie Betts and David Ortiz just on the Red Sox alone? And I can understand leaning towards Mookie Betts because he's a terrific defender, impacts the game on the bases as well. But you can also look at David Ortiz and say what he does in the batter's box plus what he means to that franchise. He makes other players better around him because he is such a smart hitter.
Two and two.
Yeah, the way I talked to David about that, one of the things he told me, and I love the way he put it, he said, I never want Mookie, Jackie Bradley Jr., or Xander Bogaerts going to the plate with an empty head. So he's always talking to them about pitch sequencing, what a pitcher is trying to do. David does that as well as anybody I've ever seen. A real student of that. Very intensely studies those kind of pitch patterns. You know, can you quantify that? No. I mean, listen, I think it's personally for me, it's hard to give an MVP to a guy who has no defensive component at all. Your team's out there in the field, he's back in the clubhouse showing sunflower seeds and watching the game on TV. I mean, come on, that's an advantage. Even from a wear and tear point of view. But he's been that good, he has to be in the conversation.
Along those lines, Tigers fans won't enjoy hearing this, but when he hit the game-tying grand slam.
Oh, you had to bring that up. I can hear everybody bringing that up.
That's David this year about that pitch from Joaquin Benoit. He said that in that situation, that exact same situation earlier in the season, Benoit threw him that pitch.
Split.
He said he knew that pitch was coming.
He told me the same story. He struck him out on the pitch, I think 2.5 months earlier, and had that filed away in the hard drive and pulled it up when Benoit came into that game. You know, again, I talked about Verlander impacting these young pitchers. When David Ortiz retires, and yes, he is retiring after this season, he's not coming back. His legacy will live on as guys like Bogaerts, Bradley, Betts continue to get better because of the lessons they've learned as his teammate.
To the warning track, Dozier has just enough space. Jones pinch running, got to second on the wild pitch, able to advance to third. 2 outs and a runner 90 feet from home. Now we've seen many greats leave their legacy. Speaking of that grand slam, and Torrey Hunter. Torrey Hunter has talked many times about Kirby Puckett and what Kirby did for Hunter and what Hunter has done for so many young players, now retired, of course. But there's no doubt Ortiz will leave that kind of a legacy. Two outs, a man at third for Justin Upton. Strike one. Upton's such a major reason why these Tigers have now won 5 in a row after a 3-game losing streak and have vaulted themselves into one of the wild card spots. Getting hot at just the right time.
You know, it's interesting watching Wade Davis work here because when this inning started, typical closer in a non-closing situation, his stuff was playing down a little bit. But as soon as the Tigers threatened to score a run here, you're seeing the velocity go up on the cutter and the heater.
Orlando in the shadows. That ends the 8th inning. We are off to the 9th. Tigers trying to win their 6th in a row. of the game, sponsored by the Hartford. Martinez came into today 0 for his last 11, but in the third, go-ahead RBI base hit. Brought in Maben, and then in the sixth, another RBI base hit into left field. Once again, bringing home Maben and making it a 4-2 game where we stand right now. Francisco Rodriguez, second most saves in the league, behind only the perfect Zach Britton, will work the ninth. Facing Gordon, Escobar, and Dozier.
Yeah, both of those hits by Martinez, by the way, with 2 strikes. And not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but this is the kind of game you like to see in October a lot of times, where you're stringing together hits, walks, grinding out at bats. Detroit grind was the MO today, not the home run ball. Tigers came in 15-31 when they don't hit a home run. So saying, listen, we got more ways to win a game than just the long ball.
On a line into right field. Gordon, who has had good numbers in his career against K-Rod, begins the ninth with a base hit, and that brings in Escobar.
And the Royals are saying this game ain't over. We get the tying run to the plate.
Haas was hoping that his Tigers can win 6 in a row. Now, normally Escobar not really a threat to leave the park, but he is homered 7 times this year, single season high. So when you're talking about home run power this season, it is affecting even those like Escobar, at least to some degree. Might have been swinging for one.
It looked like he was trying to leave right there. Notorious first ball hitter, whether it's in the zone or not. And he let it loose right there.
As we saw in the postseason, Escobar always capable of a home run inside the ballpark. 0-2.
That's the best bullet just about you get from Francisco Rodriguez, 90 miles an hour. Favorite pitch, of course, is still that changeup. He'll throw that more than any other pitch.
Now more than 40% of the time. K-Rod this year over 40 saves for the 6th time in his career. Now his 3rd team that he's racked up 40 saves with. Did it multiple times with the Angels, of course, then once with the Brewers, and now with the Tigers. Falling into no man's land, and a basket catch. JD Martinez showing some range. Now Martinez getting it done today inside the batter's box, and here in the 9th inning defensively as well.
Terrific play. I want you to keep an eye on when he puts his glove out to catch this ball. Running full speed, and right before that last step, the flip of the glove. It allows him to get there in time. If you get the glove out earlier, it's going to slow you down. Ran a long way for that ball. Nice play.
Hunter Dozier facing Rodriguez for the first time in his very young career. Only 11 at-bats in the majors for Dozier entering today.
He's a tough solve for a young rookie. Talk about Francisco Rodriguez. You talk about hiding the ball. He throws the glove, the elbow, the knee at you. The big motion, soft changeup.
Crushed down by the foul pole in left field. Absolutely hammered, but foul.
And that was the changeup well out in front of it. That's the kind of foul ball a lot of people go, ooh, you really got that one. As a pitcher, it doesn't bother you at all. You did your job. You got him way out in front of it.
Now Dozier playing for the first time since Sunday. One out, one on, top of the ninth inning. Iglesias can't get there. And the Royals put 2 on with 1 out. Single by Gordon. Single by Dozier, his first hit today. That brings in a pinch hitter. We'll have Daniel Nava. Terrence Gore, the speedster at first base, pinch running for Dozier.
Well, that's big because you know anything down the lines or in the gap, Gore's a threat to score.
Nava, who famously burst onto the scenes of the major leagues years ago with hitting a grand slam with the first pitch that he ever saw in the majors. Now with Kansas City, 1 out, 2 on. He bats in the number 9 spot. Looking at a strike. Gordon at second base, Gore at first.
See, the shadow is just starting to creep over from the light tower. It's not play yet. Still should have a good look at the ball if you can find it out of the windup.
The 0-1.
That's a good take right there by Nava, always known for having a really good eye. He will make you get 3 pitches over the plate before he's through. Rarely chases, especially in this situation with runner in scoring position.
This is Nava's first plate appearance in 9 days. K-Rod ahead now, 1-2.
Yeah, that was the pitch he left the dugout looking for. Got a fastball out over the plate. Got a good rip on it, just a little bit tardy on this. I'm not sure Francisco wanted that up there or as much over the plate. Probably wanted it more away. So now if he goes to that changeup.
Gore at first base to tie and run. Nava pinch hitting the go-ahead run. The 1-2. Swing and a miss.
That's a classic platter combo. Fastball up. Change the eye level and speed. Split change down. Watch this thing dive. Great execution by Francisco Rodriguez.
Today, the first time since the second week of August that Rodriguez has allowed multiple hits in an outing. Trying to work around base hits to Gordon and to Dozier with Gore running for him at first base. Royals are down to their final out. And Eliza the bat of Paulo Orlando. Strike 1.
You know, Aaron, a lot of times we talk about speed pressuring infielders. This is the case where speed pressures the outfielders. Because now Gore is off with the swing with 2 outs. The pressure to handle the ball cleanly and not hurry. Be quick, but don't hurry, as John Wooden said, is on the outfielders, not just the infielders.
Pulled foul. It's 0-2. And Orlando down to his final strike.
And Francisco Rodriguez just called out McCann to talk about this pitch. A lot of times with veteran on second base like Alex Gordon, he's seen a lot of pitches out there. Talk about the pitch, forego the sign altogether. Maybe even a sequence of the next 2 pitches to make sure nothing can be intercepted.
Tying run at first base for Kansas City. Rodriguez, the 0-2. McCann stays with it. Everybody stays put. Gordon at second base.
Huge block right there by McCann. When you have to anticipate change up with 2 strikes, this is going to be in the dirt. Watch how low he gets. Watch the chin get in the chest. Chest comes forward. Textbook position. To the chest forward. Make sure that ball drops in front rather than bounces up.
On their feet here in downtown Detroit. Two and 2.
Trevor Hoffman was a closer I would see throw 4, 5 changeups in a row. Rodriguez already thrown 2 in a row.
Maybin having a turn. Show his numbers. Looking up. And a short hops off the wall. Gordon is in. Gore is steaming around. And with 2 outs and 2 strikes, Paulo Orlando delivers in the 9th inning. This game is tied at 4. And a hush falls over Comerica Park.
He did triple up on the changeup and left this one up in the zone. Not by a lot, but by enough. Pitch design with 2 strikes to be in the dirt at the knees. Orlando goes and gets it and just absolutely hammers it. And we talked about the difference putting Gore in the game. Francisco Rodriguez can't believe a ball was hit over an outfielder's head. But again, one of the deepest center fields in all of baseball. That ball was scorched.
That brings in Cuthbert. Now welcome to the Detroit Public Library.
On their feet to absolutely hushed with 1 swing.
Now they know how important this game is, and every game the rest of the way for the Tigers. Now 2-0.
He's got to stay aggressive here, even behind on the count. Hosmer on deck.
Go ahead run who can flat out burn. Orlando's at second base. Foul ball.
Yeah, any base hit, they'll have no shot of getting Orlando at the plate. With 2 outs, off on the swing, outfield playing deep. Especially Justin Upton in left field.
The 2-1. First runs Rodriguez has allowed since the 5th of this month.
But he's been here. You know, a younger closer, you'd worry about letting the game get away, not just the lead. But you notice nobody went to the mound. 2-strike, 2-out hit ties the game. And Francisco Rodriguez is going to handle this on his own.
It's 3-1. 2 on. The 2-run double, and now the walk to Cuthbert. And now a visit. Nothing more than stretching in the bullpen.
No, I've always thought it's one of the hardest decisions for a manager, taking a closer out in any situation. You put him in the game because you trusted him. It still has to be the case, especially with his years of experience. Eric Hosmer, best RBI guy in my book on the Kansas City team, but 0 for 4, small sample against Francisco Rodriguez.
Hosmer hitless so far today, 3 strikeouts. Not at his usual first base, DHing this afternoon. Now McCann's been busy here in the 9th.
It's only the 6th time Eric Hosmer has started a game as DH. Four for 19 in these games.
And now some activity in the bullpen. Shane Green. Blaine Hardy getting loose. .25 pitches here in the 9th inning where K-Rod has blown the save. His second blown save this year against Kansas City. Orlando the go-ahead run at second base. Clubbed out to right field. JD Martinez only watching this one go. You can count them all up for Eric Hosmer this season. 100 RBIs for the All-Star first baseman, and he has propelled the Royals to a 9th inning 7-4 lead. Wow.
Stunning. He's going to try to beat him inside with a fastball. And watch Hosmer dig it out. That pitch runs back over the plate. Watch him sink into his legs and dig it out. That's a strong man right there. Not a bad location. But great hitting on Hosmer's part. They hit it with power. Wow, this place has gone from stunned to angry.
They are making their way to the parking lot. The 9th inning has completely unraveled for the Tigers. No, 2 outs, 2 strikes against him. Double the short off the wall in center field. That brought in 2. A walk later, Hosmer with number 24 has now driven 100 on the season. It has become a 5-run 9th inning with 2 outs, as the Royals are looking a little bit like the Royals from seasons past all of a sudden.
Yeah, a team obviously made a name for itself starting 2 years ago with all their rallies late. But for the Tigers, also, you talk about trends. The bullpen issues in past years for Detroit certainly showed up today. And here's the difference, Aaron. You have a closer who does not have swing and miss stuff. And this game now more and more is about swing and miss stuff, not just in the 9th inning, but from the 6th inning on. That's part of the danger. And K-Rod's K rate is the lowest of his career. I'll go back even to the hit by Dozier to set up this inning. The changeup that he grounded into left field, just the inability to put hitters away.
Here is Blaine Hardy facing Morales, and he starts him off with strike 1. Morales behind 0-2 after a strong day. He's homered, also singled to left field, also walked and scored. Now, for an offense that has been so lethargic lately in Kansas City, they would have killed to have 5 runs in a game earlier on this road trip. Kinsler can't hold on to it. Now Morales has just lived on the base paths today.
How do you score that one, Mr. Official Scorer? As you saw by Kinsler's reaction, he thought he should have had it. Not sure if the ball came up on him, but it looked like he was in position to backhand it.
Now Mr. Scorekeeper's thinking it over. Strike 1 to Salvador Perez. An error on Kinsler. The Tigers took a 4-2 lead to this top of the 9th inning, and the Royals now lead at 7-4 with 2 outs in the 9th. Perez is the 9th hitter this inning. Cabrera onto the warning track. That will end the 9th inning. What a 9th it turns out to be for Kansas City. 2-run double by Orlando, but it was this blast. 7-4, a 3-run shot by Eric Hosmer. Ninth inning as the Royals suddenly lead at 7-4, and about half the crowd here at Comerica Park, over 31,000 strong, are on their way home right now. You think about the missed opportunities today for the Tigers. You can see here in the box score, they have stranded 14 base runners, 18 at-bats with runners in scoring position.
Well, now it looms large, but it certainly looked like they had enough going to the 9th inning. You hand a 2-run lead to your closer. Well, that should be in the vault. And it wasn't. Now, how's this for a backup plan? The Royals used their closer in the 8th inning. Behind him, basically a co-closer, Kelvin Herrera. Swing and miss stuff. Royals got it. Tigers don't.
So Dyson is now in center field as Orlando goes to right. Merrifield at second base. Eric Ibar pinch hitting, looks at a strike. It was Herrera who spent time as the Royals closer when Davis spent 2 trips on the disabled list with the forearm injury. Back-to-back All-Star selections for Herrera.
Well, you mentioned the people who left after the Hosmer home run. People still here? I just think they're so stunned they can't move.
They're paralyzed.
It's unbelievable. They had 2 strikes, 2 outs on Paulo Orlando. 1 strike away from extending the winning streak to a 6th game. And on the clock, just a matter of a minute or 2, all gone. Maybe more than a minute or 2, but certainly seemed like seconds to this crowd, how quickly it went away.
Shattered bat. Escobar. And Morales keeps his foot on the bag. 2 outs left for the Tigers.
Well, the Tigers want to look at this to see if he did keep his foot on the bag, because Escobar didn't have a clean handle on this baseball throwing to first base. And he leaves the bag. Does he get back in time? You see, he doesn't have a clean handle, so it's not a great throw. Forces Morales off the bag. Coming back down. And we play on. He's out.
With Merrifield off the bench, right to him. 2 outs. Boy, we did not think that these 2 teams would be playing at the bottom of the 9th. Lone save for Francisco Rodriguez will turn into, well, 1 out away from a save for Herrera. Thanks in large part to Hosmer's 3-run homer. So on the same day for the Royals, Morales has reached the 30 home run plateau, and Hosmer, for the first time in his career, has driven in 100. Iglesias to right field. Orlando is over there now with a foul ball. Every game so precious for the Tigers.
And I was just thinking the same thing. There's a certain stickiness to these games, whether on the good side or the bad side, that isn't there early in the season. By that I mean, it's a game like this happens in May, June, July, easy to flush away. You go out and have dinner like nothing happened. Not this time of year. The same for wins. Come from behind wins. Linger a little longer.
Flicking to left field. Gordon with a dive, and that's how it finishes. Hosmer's 3-run blast, Orlando's 2-strike, 2-out, 2-run double has given the Royals the win. We're coming right back to wrap things up.